Education is important, but playing computer games are importanter. Plumbers, princesses, and various fungi thereupon. This is Modern Escapism. Hello and welcome to the hashtag Monster Energy Gamer Zone. My name is Oodles, the Fragmaster 9000, and today I am joined by... He doesn't die, he respawns. It's Biggie.
Hello.
He doesn't age, he levels up. It's Stig.
Hello.
What doesn't kill her, gives her XP. It's Candy Machine.
Hello.
He doesn't need to get a life. He's a gamer. He has many lives. It's Gadget.
Hello.
How minging are them?
Well, if people have heard our Patreon episode, that makes me slightly concerned about your opinion of me.
Yeah.
Yep. Gamer. But before we kick into gear, we're going to talk about Patreon. Take it away.
Yeah, speaking of Patreon, we have a Patreon. You can find it if you go onto patreon.com/modernescapism. On there we have 3 separate tiers. We have the £5 a month Modern Escapees. That will get you exclusive Patreon extended episodes of the weekly episode, and at least one special a month. Currently, we have had more specials. We did a full Loki spoiler special series, and we also have Too Faff, Too Curious in the works, where Gadget and Biggie will be talking about the Fast and the Furious franchise from never seeing them before. This week, you'll have also noticed that our monthly special is out, and this week we did Modern Escapism does Room 101.
Kind of.
Yeah, well, we did a variation of it. It's the same kind of thing. I modded the rules a little, but it was still fun, and you can come and listen to Oodles try and
justify myself.
Justify himself. So it was a lot of fun. But we also, on there, we have the Scorched Sheep, which is £5 a month, and that is for our Do Dragons Dream of Scorched Sheep podcast. If you sign up for that, you get ad-free versions of the podcast, you get early access to the podcast, access to battle maps, artwork, any original music, and any other content that we put out with that. And you can also suggest NPC names, items, and things to Gadget to use. But if you're feeling flush, £7.50, the Biggie Bundle, I'll get you everything.
Everything.
Well, I just want to say, if you have signed up to our Patreon, thank you very much for all those people that signed up. We started it in June, and already we have 20 things out
£1 million.
Oh, I wish. No, we have. So far, we're in the middle of July, and we've done 20 exclusive posts for Patreon. So we think that, it's a lot of content there, and it's a lot of good stuff as well. So if any of that sounds like your bag, then sign up.
Thank you very much there, Stig.
Or fuck off.
Sorry about that little outburst.
Now,
very hot.
We're going to just dive right in, because I'm feeling like a fucking omelette at the moment. It's red hot. So you can take it away. Gadget, what you been up to?
Okay, so a couple of things this week. First one I want to talk about, and I'll talk about it in the lightest of light details because I'm aware people are still watching it and I don't want to put any spoilers in, but I binged through the whole season of Loki on Disney Plus this week.
I've heard of it.
My fucking God, what a show! I really, really enjoyed that. Again, a little bit like with WandaVision, it's obviously an offshoot of the MCU, taking the character of Loki after kind of what happens to him. Again, I don't even want to spoil more of that. I've got to be so vague on this one.
I'll be watching it fairly soon, so be careful.
Yeah, it's got a wonderful production style. It's got this really appealing kind of 60s brutalist aesthetic, which I really like. The soundtrack, my God, the soundtrack.
Incredible, isn't it?
So good.
There was a moment in the finale episode, right near the end, where the composer reprises the main theme.
Yes,
the different remake. Oh my God! I nearly had. I need 3 to 5 working days to get over this.
Yeah,
it's
man.
So good.
Yeah. That was a real goosebump moment.
Yeah. And the way it just kind of plays with your expectations, plays with the story. There's some wonderful cameos in it from quite famous people. Yeah, it's just so good. Like, even if you're not that up on the MCU, like if you've got a passing interest in it, it's worth watching because Tom Hiddleston is fantastic in it. I actually like Owen Wilson in it. Like, I find Owen Wilson really grating all the time because he's a bit Keanu-ish in that he plays the same role in everything he's in. But I really like his character in this. I really
Me and
like
Stig loved him.
Yeah. So, no, he's a really, really good season. It's 6 episodes. It's about 5.5 hours worth of viewing. It's really, really well worth it. And we have our podcast on it, which I haven't listened to yet because I've been listening to another podcast this week, which is the other thing I want to talk about.
Ah.
So I've been away this week. I've been at a wedding. I went down to Kent to see friend of the pod, enemy of Oodles, Monk's Boy, get married. So congratulations to him and his lovely wife Abby.
I hope it was a great day.
So as a result of that, me living in the north and then being as far south as you can go before you get your feet wet.
They're in northern France, aren't they?
Practically. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts in the car driving, and I've been binge listening through My Dad Wrote a Porno, season 6.
I don't even know what that is.
Well, it kind of actually gives it away in the title.
I thought so.
So My Dad Wrote a Porno is
about cats.
A podcast about Jamie Morton and reading through the dreadful self-published porn novels that his dad has written.
Holy shit.
Yeah. His dad, who goes under the nom de plume Rocky Flintstone, because of course he does, wrote a series of 6 or 7 books called Belinda Blinked and published them on Amazon in like 2015. And you can go and you can buy these books. They're real things. None of it's made up for the podcast. And they're universally terrible. Like, Rocky is not a good writer. But so Jamie reads the novels out to his 2 friends, James and Alice, who they're like his old university friends. They have quite a long friendship together, and the banter between them is hysterical. And it's insane. What starts off as a series of books about Belinda Blumenthal starting work at Steele's Pots and Pans and fucking her way through the client base and the staff.
Oh, he knows how to write women, clearly.
Can you say that?
No. Rocky Flintstone does not know how to write
That's
women.
Right. I would be
in
sarcastic.
the most spectacular. In fact, I'm pretty sure the Reddit subreddit men writing women was dedicated to him because he is so bad at it. But yeah, so it starts off as some fairly low rent, pretty crappy porn written by a man in his 60s. It's got a very 70s edge about it in places because that's obviously
lots of beards and bush.
Yeah, that was Rocky's, the peak of his life before
that
he got
should be the
married
name
and
of
had
our
kids.
podcast.
Beards and bush.
Beards and bush, perfect.
It's a spin-off.
But as the books go on, it transforms into something else. It becomes a spy thriller.
Oh
with
dear.
assassination attempts and microfilm and shit. Like, I mean, none of it works. But it's so funny because the man's got no fucking clue. Apparently, he writes a chapter in about 2 hours and just doesn't edit them. Just doesn't go back. So, like, there are mistakes throughout it. There are points where characters just change names for some inexplicable reason, and Jamie, as the narrator, has to catch up with this stuff. About season 3 or 4, Jamie starts just putting voices to the characters, which then gets hilarious, including a rather extreme Essex accent for Bella, which I'm not going to try and repeat here because it's fucking atrocious. But just to give you the tone of it, I have some quotes from My Dad Wrote a Porno for just so you can get the level of writing ability of Rocky Flintstone and the kind of how he attempts to put soliloquies into this.
Oh, wow.
So the first one is quite simple, and it's probably the most famous one. Her tits hung like pomegranates.
What? My tits hang like pomegranates. Not a woman's.
And for the further ones going on here, some of these actually will get slightly pornographic, so apologies to anyone who happens to be listening with kids around. But
your grandma.
I mean, you shouldn't be listening to us with kids around.
No, you shouldn't be listening to us when there's kids around. Again, he slowly entered Belinda's pussy. He felt like a man revisiting the house where he had grown up as a child. Everything was the same, but different.
Rearrange the curtains.
Oh.
She took him completely into her mouth, tasting the flesh of mankind.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
Belinda regained her composure as best as she could. Good heavens, that was a powerful portion of sex, and as hot as a half-fucked fox in a forest fire. Wow.
Try saying that with a dick in your mouth.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Half the world away, Belinda and Bella were behind bars and in chains. They hadn't slept a blink. What was this even about? Wondered Bella. God, this is about so much, thought Belinda.
What?
Yep. Two more for you. Her nipples hardened with her feeling of freedom, and they were now as large as the 3-inch rivets which had held together the hull of the Titanic.
That's disgusting.
And the last one I'm going to give to you, because I've deliberately avoided giving you ones from this season because people are still listening to it.
Mm.
But this one I've got here. This is peak perfection from the opening episode of season 6. Rolling onto her backbone, she pulled her legs behind her earlobes and proffered her open vagina like the dessert trolley at a Toby Carvery.
I think I knew her.
This is the level it's working. It's the least sexy thing in the world. Like, there's no way anyone can
Speak
get
for
turned
yourself,
on
mate.
reading this stuff. It's absolute insanity, but it's so funny, and the banter between Jamie, James, and Alice is so good.
Just going to say, I really enjoyed it when I first started listening to it. I thought it was hilarious, but
Yeah.
I found, and this is a bit ironic because I've just interrupted you, but I found that Alice kept jumping in far too much when he was trying to tell the story sometimes, because that's what you also want to hear. Their banter is really funny, but sometimes you just actually want to hear how bad his writing is, but they keep jutting in. And
I mean, let's not talk about jutting in, mate. This podcast is based on butting in.
Yeah.
I think it does work. I mean, it can get annoying, yeah, especially but there's nothing really that compelling in the story to listen to. It's more just like
It's how bad
what
it
the
is.
bad
I
writing
think it's
is.
how bad it is. That's what it is. But yeah, I might have to go back to it. I just dropped off it, I have to say.
I mean, if for anything, I mean, like I said, aside from the actual stories up, there's just some wonderfully hilarious, weird shit that happens in the banter. Like,
this is true.
James Cooper is gay and has no concept of female anatomy. And they riff on this quite a few times. They have these bonus episodes in called The Footnotes where they'll talk about things. And they have one where James gets to ask all the questions about sex, heterosexual sex that he wants to, and they explain things to him. But there's one time where it's revealed that James has never felt a boob. And he thinks they feel like firm avocados. So Alice proffers her boob to him. It's this rather hilarious little sequence where he's feeling his first boob ever on a podcast. So, yeah.
Are we going to start doing that on this?
I mean, if you've got a boob handy.
Here we go.
Oh, yeah, I really recommend My Dad Wrote A Porno. It's so funny. It's so ridiculous. Just be careful when you're driving around listening to it on the Bluetooth in the car.
How many episodes a season is it?
It varies. So,
right.
so like it depends on the length of the book. So some of the books are like 14, 15 chapters.
Can you just jump into any season? I may as well just start with 6, and then work my way back.
There's a best of book 5. Yeah, you can go in. Like I said, none of it makes sense. There's a lot of self-referenced characters throughout it and overarching story, but it is even just if you listen to the first episode of season 6, you'll get the tone of it.
They're not very long either, are they? The episodes?
No, about 45 minutes to an hour long.
Oh, we should start doing that.
Yeah, and then you get the footnotes, which are about 20 minutes, half an hour. They get celebrities on. Like Elijah Wood's been a guest on this.
He is a pervert. I mean, a hobbit. Sorry.
Yeah, and Michael Sheen and people like that.
Well,
Daisy Ridley,
Alice
she's
is
been
a DJ, isn't she, for BBC?
Yeah, she's Alice Levine from Radio 1.
Yeah, so she's got the old contacts.
Yeah, she's got contacts.
Look, if you want Elijah Wood on this podcast, I can get you Elijah Wood.
If you can do that, I'll be impressed.
I can do it.
Then do it.
You watch this.
Can on then. Right.
I'm going to sound the horns of Gondor right now.
We actually not have Sir Ian McKellen on instead.
No. I tried to book Sean Connery, but,
Oh, awkward.
Yeah.
Not working at the minute, is he? So, yeah. Just listen to My Dad Wrote a Porno. It's so stupid. It's so wonderful. I love it.
I will do, mate. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you. Candy, what you been up to?
Yeah, a couple of things again this week. So, following on from last week, I started playing Plague Tale. I haven't got that far into it, so I'm going to talk about it further down the line. So far, it's been a positive experience. I'm looking forward to continuing it. I also started Operation Tango with a friend, which is the 2-player game, but you don't see each other's screen, so you're kind of working together, describing what you're seeing to solve puzzles. We haven't finished it yet. We're hoping to complete it in the next couple of days. But the main thing... It's really fun. Really enjoyed it. There are quite a few fiddly sections, and it's a good thing I'm really good friends with my gaming partner, because it definitely could cause a breakup.
Wow.
But no, we've done pretty well so far. We haven't fallen out, so that's all good. And I went to see Fast 9 at the cinema.
Is it about family?
I award it family out of 5.
Wow.
I know, that's the highest I could possibly award it. So like Biggie and Gadget, I came to Fast 9 without really seeing that many others. I saw a couple of the first ones when they first came out. Turns out I didn't really need to anyway.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't. You really don't. I don't really know what to say about it. At one point, my eyes were sort of physically burning from everything that was happening on the screen, and not just because it was hot. It's so wonderfully ridiculous. It's actually quite difficult to not enjoy it. I sort of enjoyed it despite myself. There were a few moments where I was just howling in the cinema, the complete ridiculousness. I did notice this is the most ridiculous part of the film. There are a few scenes where Vin Diesel and John Cena are sort of squaring up to each other, and they're sort of eye level with each other. And I don't want to make a judgment, but I'm pretty sure Vin Diesel, he doesn't give me tall man vibes. So I'm quite sure he would have been...
Think he's a person of restricted growth?
Yeah, I'm just getting that feeling from him. So I'm pretty sure he was on at least 3 phone books. See, I went on Google to look up both of their heights, and apparently there's only 3 centimetres difference between them, but I'm calling bullshit on that. Absolute bullshit. I think Vin Diesel has been on the phone to Mr. Google and said, listen, you're going to have to change. Yeah. Yes. He's going to have to change it. So that was the one part of the film I just could not believe, unfortunately. So for that, I couldn't suspend my disbelief. But yeah, you know what you're getting when you go and see a fast film, so it didn't really disappoint.
I'm buzzing for it, me. I can't wait for it. Excellent. Is that everything you've done?
Everything, yes.
That's more than enough. Stig, you've been doing, lad?
I've seen a few films. Watched Black Widow. That was all right. Bit middle of the road Marvel for me, I think.
I think we all expected that.
Yeah, should have come out years ago.
Yeah,
probably worked better then. But it was all right. It was enjoyable to see a Marvel film again. But the TV stuff's been kind of crushing it, really. So the film didn't kind of live up to the TV stuff, unfortunately. I started Schitt's Creek this week.
Oh yes, great show.
Absolutely brilliant. We're really enjoying that. But what I'm going to do before I head on to my main one is I'm going to do a live on air right now review of a beer I have.
Oh!
And the reason I'm doing this is because it's a Yorkshire pudding beer.
What?
Made with real Yorkshire puddings.
Wait, hang on. Are you auditioning for Snugcast here?
Nope. Well, I might give it a Ghoulin jig. See what it's on the Ghoulin jig scale. Although, to be fair to them, I have no idea what their scale's all about. It's all like, I don't think they do, to be fair.
I think that's the point.
Yeah, exactly. This is not a beer to make Yorkshire pudding with. It's a Yorkshire pudding beer. The first and original Yorkshire pudding beer made in the foothills of the North Yorkshire moors. Firstly, it tastes like Yorkshire pudding, light, crisp, and reek good.
Has it got gravy in it?
I don't know, but I'm going to give it a test right now. I haven't tried this. I've poured it out.
The plain Yorkshire pudding's not
I haven't
the same,
tried it
is
yet. I want to see... no, it's not. You need gravy. So I'm going to see what it's like.
That was a good old gulp.
Don't get Yorkshire pudding at all.
Oh, how disappointing.
Just tastes like a regular...
Have you put it in oven first?
You sprinkle some oxo on it.
Yeah.
No, I'm just getting regular...
Stick a carrot in top.
Kind of regular beer taste, really, more than anything.
Oh dear, how disappointing. What an anticlimactic thing I can edit out.
Yeah, never mind. Don't edit out. That's a bit disappointing. Very disappointing.
What'll happen with all beers like this, with these fancy craft beers, when he's got about halfway, he'll be like, you know what? It does taste like Yorkshire puddings.
I'll let you know if it starts to hit the Yorkshire. Yeah,
develops. It puffs up like one.
That first taste, I'm not getting a Yorkshire. I'm not getting a Yorkshire pudding, unfortunately. So. Yeah, that was disappointing. I just saw it in the shop and it was like £1.75 a bottle.
Get a bit of gravy granules in it and stir it with a spoon. Be lovely.
Give the main thing I do want to talk about is, last week I got my PS5 and I started Ratchet and Clank. And I'm really enjoying it. It's a really good game.
For people that don't know what it is, what is Ratchet and Clank?
It's I guess describe it's a platforming game.
Shooter, platformer thing.
Adventure game, 3D game, you play as this little creature, Ratchet. I've never played a Ratchet and Clank game before, by the way. Yeah. So, and he has a little robot helper, and the story is that him and his robot creates him this gun, which Dr. Nefarious steals, and it starts to open rifts and splits in the space-time, whatever, and they start jumping between dimensions. So you actually I've made some notes and they're all over the place. I apologize. But the rift stuff is really cool. Like when you see a rift that you can use, you press the button to do it, and rather than it being like one where you kind of you'd feel like you harpoon and you shoot towards it, you don't actually. You pull the rift towards you, so the screen actually gets bigger as the rift's kind of in the distance, and it gets bigger as it comes towards you, and then it places you inside where that rift is. So it's like a really cool transport system. And then
is it quite fluid when that happens?
Oh yeah,
it looked like it in the trailers.
Absolutely seamless. And when you skip between dimensions as well, absolutely seamless. You literally don't
using that SSD to good measure.
Yeah, there is no I'm going to go into a different dimension now, and it slowed, or you don't even see a jutter. You literally just walk through the rift and you're in the other dimension.
That's cool.
Yeah, the triggers, it uses the haptic triggers really well. So with the PlayStation 5, obviously, if you pull the trigger down slightly, you've got like a bit of resistance there, or like a full one. And there's things like some of the grenades, if you kind of press it to the middle section, it throws like a short grenade. If you press it down to the long one, it throws a long grenade. You can charge up weapons, so you kind of pull the trigger down slightly, just a little bit, and it charges the weapon up. Then you pull it all the way down, and it shoots the weapon. Or you can just pull it all the way down, and it'll shoot the weapon, to begin with. So you can kind of run around and keep a charge on your weapon ready for, the enemies. I did have one game-breaking bug on it, though, which is annoying. There was a section where I had to follow a character, and I followed him, died, and it respawned me back outside a door that had closed.
Oh no!
So I couldn't follow him anymore, and it had a little indicator saying "follow him." I'm I'm running around this building going, I can't get to him. And I was like, do I go this way? And I was running around for ages. Luckily, it auto saves, but it keeps various auto saves. So I just had to go back.
So you could go back.
The devs knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, I only had to go back 15 minutes. I only lost 15 minutes of game time.
That's fuck all, mate. I lost 14 hours on Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking that. I mean, I'm only a few hours in, so I really wanted to play a bit more before I talked about it this week, but I didn't really have anything else to talk about, so I thought I'll talk about this. But I'm really enjoying it. It looks gorgeous, to be honest. I really like the style.
The last one did. The remaster version was really good on the PS4 as well. I recommend, if you do like this, get that up.
I think they're good games, me. I like Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, obviously, I've never played one before, so there's a character reveal. Obviously, because you're in a different dimension, it's the same looking character, but they played a different person. And he goes, "Oh, it's Skid or Scud or someone." And that, for me, who's never played the game before, it's just kind of shrug of the shoulders.
So funny.
No, it's just that means nothing to me. But fans will obviously be like, "Oh, wow, that's amazing! That's him that's playing this character."
I really like the first one, and there was I think Up Your Arsenal. I think that were good. They've all got weird names like that.
Cracking Time.
Yeah, there's a few. I think one of them's really shit. and like as a series, they're pretty solid. Like,
yeah, the writing is great. The writing and voice acting in it is brilliant. I really, really think that's really good. And there's like a few little mini games in there. Like these are quite close to the start of the game, to be fair, so it's not too much of a spoiler. But one of the mini games is you have to kind of hack a system, and you go into that system, and you run and you kind of run around as a little robot, this little quipping robot. She's really cute, and she's like trying to just take out these viruses within the computer system. And there's another one where you have to go into something as Clank, and you basically play a game of lemmings.
Nice.
You've got to lead all these other Clanks from one end to the other and stop them from like falling off a cliff. Like, so you've got all these like puzzles and things, switches to do to like get all these row of Clanks from one end to the other. Just little things like that kind of like break up the game, but I don't break it up so much that it ruins it. It's like these fun little mini games. The only quibble I do have with it is you play it as two different versions of Ratchet. So you play it as a character called Rivet, which is like a female version of him. But it's really it doesn't make sense to me when you play as her. You get all of his power ups and guns. So
it's a computer game, though. Don't matter.
But like a lot of the times when you switch between characters in computer games,
you got your own
two different characters. You get to level them up differently, don't you?
There's literally nothing different between them.
No, sometimes you get like different guns, don't you, or different level ups or different power ups. There is literally nothing. So far, there is nothing.
It's just a skin
to distinguish them, other than it's a female version of him. Like you get the same guns. Like it passes over, so the guns I've unlocked with him, she has, and it's like I was hoping for a bit more variety between the two.
It's just like Fortnite.
Yeah.
Different skin.
Yeah, but other than that, I'm really enjoying it. I'm really looking forward to playing through more. Like, I wasn't really that fussed about playing it. It wasn't a system seller for me. It wasn't one that was, I have to get the PS5
it's supposed to be a launch game with the PS5.
It was supposed to be, yeah.
But it came with my PS5, along with Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but I've already got a digital copy of that, so I sold that, and I'm going to play Ratchet and Clank, and then finally going to get onto Valhalla.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm really enjoying that. So if you've got a PS5, then I'd give that a go. Definitely give that a go.
Excellent. Thank you, mate. Biggie?
Hello. Bizarrely, I also want to talk about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but only briefly, because I've been doing a bit of a re-watch.
No spoilers.
Nope. So I went from where I stopped off last time, which was just watched Doc Strange.
Doc Strange.
Yeah,
I've never heard anyone call it Doc Strange.
Do you know what? It's how I typed it down here.
His name's Doc Stephen Strange.
Doc Strange. Which is quite funny, actually, because he's always quipping about his name in the movies.
Yeah.
But Doctor Strange, which I thought was excellent the second time round.
Incredible
I
film.
enjoyed it the first time round, but I was really, really enjoyed it this time.
Yeah, me too. I enjoyed it a lot more.
One of my favourites.
Yeah, I don't quite know why I didn't appreciate it as much as I did the first time around, because I remember liking the movie, but having taken my time this way, really cool. I've made it all the way through to Infinity War so far. Weirdly, I didn't like Black Panther the second time around as much.
I fucking love Black Panther.
And I loved it the first time around, but for some reason I didn't enjoy it as much.
I've seen it so many times. I love it.
But really cool. I've certainly seen these a lot quicker than our Friends of the Show's podcast, which is called Not Seen It Before or something. But yeah,
Not Bothered, I think it's called. No, it's the Never Watchers, and it's incredible.
Yeah, please catch it when you can. But enjoyed that. But the main thing I wanted to talk about was a guy called Paul Murphy, who is better known by his stage name, which is Skratch Bastid. And he is a Canadian DJ, a record producer. Now, following the people that I do in hip-hop on Twitter, his name popped up a couple of times, and then I managed to catch a little snippet of him doing a mix on Twitter. And since then, I am just all over this guy. He is incredible. I can't believe I've not come across him before. So he's the first ever Canadian DJ to be nominated for the Juno Award. I was going to say,
first ever Canadian DJ.
Ever. Available for weddings. The Juno Award for Producer of the Year. He kind of appeared as a great clip of him in 2001, where he's doing a Scribble Jam DJ battle And right near the end of his little set, that they get like, I don't know, 5 minutes or something to do a little set, and then they have this little battle. And he does this incredible scratch that ends with the Imperial March, but using records not related to the movie. It's just the fact he's pulled that sound out of these records. It's incredible.
Only 30 seconds to go. Only 30 seconds to go.
30 seconds left.
And then he rose to prominence by 2003, winning that Scribble Jam contest, and went on to win it in 2004 and 2007. And he's been around for a long time. He's now a judge for some of these competitions. But what he does now, which is just blowing my mind, occasionally does what he's called Bastid's Barbecue. And it's like a full-on set, which he just does live for people. They log in on Zoom, and obviously he's got his Twitch channel going. For like 3-4 hours, he just mixes away, and he's now doing a Tuesday morning coffee freestyle, which again, he does it for 3 hours, maybe more, mixing incredible hip-hop records, or he'll just go, I'm going to do all the classic Motown, mix them all together, or jazz. But the guy just has this smile on his face when he does it. And you can, when you see somebody really enjoy what they do.
Yeah, it's proper satisfying.
It's incredible. He just, you can see him like miming words to hip hop, or just records that he knows inside and out, or he knows when a beat's going to drop in, and he chats with people online. The other day when I joined it was just shy of 1,000 people viewing on Twitch just for this live free set. He just comes on, mixes away, chats to people, encourages them to sign up and have fun. But it's just the fact that he enjoys it. He's always giving shouts out to people on there, and he welcomes anybody to watch him. But it's just the fact that he enjoys what he does. It's so
Does he not get in trouble with copyright and stuff like that, like doing it on Twitch?
That was my question.
I have no idea. I really couldn't.
He might not care.
But
I'm not sure. My friend's
DJ'd,
DJ'd, and I've got friends who've done
I know
DJ
people who have done it as well.
Over Twitch and had no issues.
Yeah, but he does it on, obviously, there are loads of clips on YouTube if you want to check it out. He's just so cool. Really nice guy. You can feel his love through music, and he loves playing it to you and going, oh, you guys might not have heard this one. He promotes new music, old, mixes it all together, and it just flows. He is so clever with what he does. The mixing, the scratching, you name it. So cool.
You're such a cool guy, though. Like, you're into some proper cool stuff that I don't even think about looking into. Like, you're watching people mixing and scratching. That's so cool, mate.
Yeah, but it's
jealous.
But I just love seeing the smile on his face when he does it as well, because he's enjoying what he's doing. He's not just trying to make money out of it, because obviously he does. But
there's a difference, isn't there, between like greed and doing it for love. Like
Did you describe it? Did you describe it as scribbling? Is that what it's called?
No, it's a battle called Scribble Jam.
Oh, okay, that's the name of it. It's not a style.
No, but yeah, there's
they're all
lots
called
of
scribble knots, the people that enter the competition.
But yeah, there's just literally, if you type his name in YouTube, you can see loads of clips.
I mean, he's called Skratch Bastid. You're not going to forget that.
It's Bastid, so he obviously gets away with not swearing.
Yeah. Excellent.
He's got a great community that follows him as well. Really cool.
Brilliant. I wish I'd done something as cool as that this week. As always, my finger is firmly on the pulse, as we all know. This week I've been battling hay fever, as you can probably hear.
And me.
But I've started watching a show that's received mixed reviews over the last decade. It's called The Walking Dead. Yeah, I've never watched it. And
have you read the comics?
Yeah, I've read some of the comics, but I'm not a big zombie guy. I think we mentioned that before when we got asked favourite zombie movies and that. I'm not massive on zombies. I'm not scared of them. I could kill a zombie, me. But it's just, I don't know. Sometimes it's quite rote as a like a genre, isn't it? These zombie things. But I watched a trailer about because it's all on Disney Plus now, and a trailer just popped up, and it's like in that trailer there wasn't a single zombie in it, and I was like, wow,
We're the Walking Dead.
yeah, maybe this isn't about zombies. It's about the people surviving. And I've got to season 3 already in a week because I don't fuck about me, Gadget. I just
Yeah,
ride.
to be fair, the
He
first
sits there
season's
playing on
7
his
episodes.
Switch and
Yeah, I
watching
was,
TV. So
I
he-
was playing on my
he-
Switch as well.
Yeah. There
Dragon's
you go.
Quest 11.
Yeah, no, I've been playing Monster Hunter, but I'm not ready to talk about that yet. Yeah, so I started watching this Walking Dead, and I mean, spoiler alert, I'm really enjoying it at the moment. But yeah, it's not very zombie heavy, is it? It's the first season quite zombie heavy, but then the second season, like, they end up at this farm. If you can't remember, 10 years ago.
Yeah, once they get away from Atlanta, the amount of zombies kind of decreases.
It's more about human drama and how, like, my favourite character on the first season was Shane. He was so, like, level-headed. He was the best character. And by the second season, he's just a fucking raving lunatic. And it's just good. It's good how they like they juxtapose that, and it all makes sense how it's happening. Do you know what I mean?
How you cope with Andrew Lincoln's American accent?
It's horrible. And every time I see him, I just think of him holding that sign up.
It's Coral.
He's holding that sign up from Love Actually.
Yeah, he's always the slightly rapey guy from Love Actually.
Yeah.
That second series, though, it's like nothing happens until that mid-season point.
Yeah,
at which point it does
I could tell it was a mid-season break, that one.
Yeah, it does that huge mid-season break
And then
reveal,
nothing again.
and you're like,
until
oh fuck, I've got to watch this again, and nothing happens again until
Yeah.
that bit with Shane, and right at the end, you're just like,
Yeah.
oh fuck, I've got, and it does, yeah, just.
And now where I'm at now, I mean, minor spoilers, they're at prison, and it's quite good. It's quite up on the
Yeah,
action
that was
again.
quite good.
Yeah, they're
Um,
quite good seasons.
Yeah, and it's...
Is it the season with the governor, season 3?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've just met the governor, so no
Yeah.
spoilers, guys, no spoilers. But I'm really enjoying the actual the talky episodes, the chatting about how they'll survive and stuff like that. And I think it's.
I will spoil this for you.
Mm.
You will get very annoyed with that.
Oh, really?
Because that's all that happens a lot
No, but I
further
like
down
that
the
'cause
line.
the whole like second season was just them chatting on a farm and me going, "What are you doing? Why are you running off on your own again, Coral? Why are you doing it? Why do you keep doing it?"
The way he says Carl always made me laugh.
Yeah.
It keeps wandering off, mate. I'm saying it now. If I were in that world, I'd have put cowgun at back of all kids' heads before we even started. Doof, 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 doof.
Fucking hell.
We don't need you. You're dead weight. Carry on. Let's go. We can survive this now. There's no children. Oh. The kids in this show. They're the actual antagonists. They cause everything. So doof, 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 cow gun, all of them. Line them up. I can say that I'm a parent.
Yeah, that's really
Just a
reassuring.
quick call to social services there.
Oh yeah. Okay. So this podcast host has been saying that in the case of a zombie apocalypse, he's going to cow gun his children. I'm sure they'll be like, "It's fine. It's fine."
So
feel like
zombie
you should be on
shambling
some
down.
kind-
The zombie shambling down the road, and Noodles gets a knock on his door from social services.
Take it away.
Yeah,
do feel like you need to be just on some kind of a list, just for precautions.
Put me on it. But yeah, it's a good show, and like I said, the kids are the most annoying part, and Andrew Lincoln's accent is it's getting worse.
Oh yeah, it goes
He's getting
all over
angrier
the
now,
place.
isn't
Yeah,
it?
it does.
He's not as
yeah.
level-headed as he was at the beginning. He's getting angrier now, and it's just getting worse.
Oh, you haven't
I've-
seen anything
I've-
yet.
Yeah, I fell off it kind of towards the end of season 4. Maybe I'd gotten at the start of
Well,
season
there's
5.
10 seasons, man.
Yeah, his accent began to just wander. It was like while he was giving dialogue, his accent was starting to get bored, so it went for a wander around the south of the US.
You know what he did? On one of the episodes, he said route instead of route. I went, "I've got you, Andrew. I've caught you. I've caught you. I know where you're from. You're from London, mate."
How did no one else notice
I
that?
don't know. He said,
Surely
"We need
somebody
to
would
take
have
the
called
other
him
route."
on it.
And I went, "You mean route? You're an American." So yeah, caught him.
that never made sense. It doesn't make sense. Though.
Caught him. But yeah, I'm liking it. Maybe I will drop off it, but so far, so good. I know people swear by this show, but it's no Breaking Bad, it's no Sopranos, it's no Mad Men. I know that. I'm not stupid. It's not The Wire.
Yeah,
But it's just entertainment.
there's points where people fall off it. So you've already passed the first point that people fall off it.
Yes.
Season 2.
The next point is middle of season 4-ish.
I'm going to complete it, mate.
I dropped off at season 8, mid season 8.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's around where I dropped off.
Yeah, season 8, and then the last season, or you finish it.
I'm going to finish it.
We literally didn't even finish it. And like, Kate's really into this kind of stuff, like horror and zombie and stuff.
Yeah.
She was just like, I can't be arsed with this anymore.
Yeah,
Like,
I was
even
exactly the same.
Even she was just like, can't be arsed.
But I do recommend the comics. They are so good. They're so much darker.
Mate, I already read too many comics as it is. I don't need any more.
But it's one of the few comics I've read.
Oh, really?
I've got the 3 compendiums.
Yeah.
They're really, really good.
It's made by Frank Darabont, isn't it? Him who did Shawshank.
He did the first series.
Yeah.
Sure.
His name keeps popping up even on later seasons.
He's just
executive producer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, we kicked him off the show, but we had to give him a producer credit.
You can see the
And all
difference.
that money.
You can see the difference from the first season to the second season, actually. Now you've said that. The massive difference. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. Hopefully something happened. There needs to be a new dynamic. No, there needs to be some new characters now because we're running out. But
Zombie dogs.
Zombie dogs, I'm into it. But yeah,
Zombie cows.
I really like it. It's all on Disney Plus now, so watch it if you haven't. If you're like me, the one person in the world that's not watched it before. So
See, I still prefer my zombie things with a hint of boulder punching.
yeah. I mean, I do technically. Yeah, I prefer the more
Cerebral,
zombie,
yeah. With boulder punching.
With boulder punching, yes.
I like an 80s zombie myself.
Ooh, yeah. A Romero zombie.
A Romero zombie. Spot on.
Yeah, I mean, the rules for these zombies in this keep changing. Like, they're scared of these hordes, but they're really slow, and then the second minute, they're all panting because they're out of breath from walking faster
the
than them.
zombies can teleport in this show.
Yeah, they really can.
for something that can, like, all of a sudden they don't make any noise in the woods and they're just there.
Yeah.
None of the leaves or the twigs or anything get disturbed. But
Oh, the fact that they're all going,
yeah,
they're not stealthy, are they?
I'll tell you what, you should watch bad lip syncing Walking Dead. So it only spoiled the first 2 seasons, so you've seen it already.
Yeah.
So it's fine. But it's fucking hilarious. Someone like doing lip syncing and putting voices to the zombies.
Yeah, will
The thing
do.
is, if they react to noise as well, the amount of noise the zombies make themselves, they'd all just keep turning around and looking
Someone
at
in
each
the
other.
show actually said that. One of the characters, like, can't they distract themselves? It's like, they were saying it's the smell as well.
Yeah.
It's human smell.
The funniest thing, and this is not to do with the Walking Dead story or anything like that, but you know that car they pick up in the second season?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's obviously it's product placement from Hyundai.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah.
It's clean.
Yeah. Well, it's clean, yeah.
He bought one.
Yeah. That car was made. That car didn't exist when the zombie apocalypse happened in the timeline of this.
Oh,
So that car, whatever year, I think they started 2010, and that car became into existence
22
in 2012. Yeah, in 2012. It's something that's always tickled me because you see them like driving around, becomes like one of the most important parts of their community. It's just like it shouldn't exist.
I do like the episodes where they're like, oh, it's freezing and they're all sweating. Because they're clearly filming it in like California or something.
Georgia.
Well, Georgia's warm enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good. You can tell the first few seasons were low budget and stuff, but I like it. It's really good. So yeah, now onto the main course. Biggie, take us away.
This week, we're going head to head with each other to determine the greatest of all time game. We're each bringing 2 of our favourites to the table, and we'll draw these against each other to literally find out which is the gamer's game. Disclaimer, Killzone 2 wasn't able to be submitted due to the fact we wanted to make it a competition.
we needed things with decent Metacritic scores.
I just realised now, though, that there'll be no standoffs for this. It's going to be 3 versus 2, innit?
So, as with all our massive knockout thing, we did Biscuits. Now we're on to games. Gadget is the knockout king himself. He has the hat.
Indeed.
He has the power. If you are angry of our result at the end of the show, please write in and feel free to scream.
Blame Gadget for the draw. basically.
Yes.
I've already done the draw. Instead of time-honored traditions of using a hat and pieces of paper because it was too hot to write things down, I've used a knockout tournament draw generator. And
I feel like there's cheating happening.
No. I can share my screen if you like.
Yes, I'd like.
So the first round.
Oh my god, he's doing it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first rounds are already drawn. Now the way this works is.
Oh no! I've got to get my first one through the round 2.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Nightmare
So
scenario.
the way this works is because there are 5 of us and there are 10 things, that doesn't work evenly into a knockout competition. So we have 2 qualifier rounds, and it's all been randomly chosen. So there'll be 2 rounds where things get knocked out, and then it goes into the proper scaling brackets.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
first one up is Metal Gear Solid 3, which is
mine.
whose game?
Mine.
Versus myself's Silent Hill 2.
Easy, mate.
So it's a Konami battle off. So Stig, would you like to go first?
Yeah, I've written a lot for these.
I've written fuck all.
I like to come prepared and write things down so I don't forget things. Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater came out in 2004 by Konami. It is directed and written by Hideo Kojima, an absolute legend in the genre.
Never heard of him.
No, he's never heard of you either, but...
Fucking hell.
Coming out fighting.
Anyway, no, I mean, it's not even against his game.
He's never
I'll not
heard
have
of
anything
you
bad.
either.
I'll not have anything bad to say about Kojima, even though he's bonkers and weird with
I
things.
adore the man.
I love his games. This is set in 1964, 31 years prior to the original Metal Gear, so the story centers around Fox operative codename Naked Snake. It takes you away from Solid Snake and Raiden, the previous 2 protagonists, and we get a new character who's essentially Solid Snake in appearance and voice, but not in character. If you everyone pretty much guessed it was just Big Boss.
Yeah, even
Start
though
with,
the reveal at the end's like, what?
Yeah, it's like, we know it's Big Boss's story,
Yeah,
that's kind
Big
of
Boss.
obvious. 'Cause, Solid Snake is his clone, etc. Blah blah blah. So while the previous games they're set in an urban environment, Snake Eater adopts this kind of 1960s Soviet jungle setting, but it's more of like a high tech, near future trappings of Metal Gear Solid. So you've kind of got this 1960s setting, but with a few, it's Kojima, so there's a few, futuristic things put in there, even though it's the 60s.
A lot of James Bond gadgets, isn't there?
Yeah. So the environment, the environment's changed, and it focuses a lot more on stealth and infiltration. Like the previous ones, obviously had bits of stealth, but this is very much more of a stealth game. But it still kind of retains that self-referential fourth wall breaking humor. The music and sound effects, as Udall said, give off a James Bond spy drama vibe. The new camo system makes sense for the time period and setting. Like the stealth in this game is inventive at the time. It really added like a whole new dimension to it. So you could switch your camouflage based on what environment you were in. You had this little indicator to tell you how camouflaged you were. So if you put on a
Camo Index, it was called, wasn't it?
Yeah, so in the corner, it basically said 90%, 8%, or 20%, depending on where you were, what kind of camouflage you had on. You could sneak better through the jungle
You
and
could
through
actually
the
get up
bushes.
to 110%, I think.
Yeah, like you could get to the point of like being invisible, where you could just lie there and guards will walk past you because you are so like camouflaged. Kojima managed to rein it in slightly a little bit. There's still a lot of mad shit in there. But compared to 1 and 2, it definitely feels more grounded and an emotional story. Like the main story between Naked Snake and the boss, just trumps everything from the first and the second. The story had its hooks in me, like more than the other games. Like I said, it's just a simple story of Naked Snake hunting down his former mentor. I was way more invested in that than I ever was in like the likes of Raiden's story and even Snake's story from the first one. The bosses, again, for me, the Cobra team these are the best group of bosses.
It's basically the Mega Man bosses.
Yeah, they're just... So you've got the pain, the fear, the end, the fury, the sorrow, and then finally the boss herself. and they all offer this like. Each of them offer a really unique boss fight that includes like a stealth sniper battle, a battle against like Snake's own mind, plus the usual weird shit. There's like a man that shoots hornets at you, and then one that's running around with a flamethrower kind of thing. So you do get your batshit mental ones, but each one has like its own rules and objectives. So you build on the same like core mechanics that you had to work with, but like it's not just a shoot them as many times and they'll die. You can actually use different techniques to take them down. So
they've got 2 health bars, haven't they? They've got
the fear. His stamina depletes,
yeah,
and he has to eat. So you can actually drop poisoned packages around.
You can fall asleep.
And he'll pick up like stuff and poison himself, so you can take him down easier. The end. There's about 3 or 4 different ways of taking the end down, including
loads.
One that is like the biggest cheese ever. I know Gadget one day wants to play this game if he ever can, if they ever release the settings on it, but
no chance.
No chance. Can I tell you about the end then?
Go on then.
So the end is this old man who hides in the trees and he shoots with a sniper.
He's an ex-World War I sniper. That's how old he is.
So the way they want you to play it is to fight a sniper battle with him. So if you haven't unlocked the heat vision goggles, you have to try and spot. You're fucked because you have to try and spot him through the camera, like through the trees, which is impossible.
Listen for his
So you can
parrot.
either do it like that, you can do it with the heat vision goggles, or you can just go there at a certain time of day and he's asleep, and you can just kill him when he's asleep.
Oh, lovely.
That's it. Like you can just cheese him, go there, avoid a complete boss battle.
You could wait till he dies.
Yeah, that's the other one as well.
I remember that one.
Or if you just ignore him completely,
Dies of old age.
He dies of old age. That's the other one.
Fucking hell.
So the game just offers you up so many different things. It isn't like you're in an arena now, shoot each other until the last one dies.
I think you have to do it. I think you have to play the game at least 3 times to see every cutscene. That's how much replay value there is.
Yeah, I think I played this game
theatre.
I think I played this game about 3 times when it first came out, and then Subsidence, and then again on the Vita. On the 360. Sorry.
Yeah.
So but the whole story it accumulates with this intense and heart-wrenching fight with the boss, which just strips away all the absurdness of the other boss battles.
The Joy, that's her code name as well.
It's just
the joy of
hand-to-hand combat. It's a beautiful fight, like final battle sequence, and it goes. It's one of my favorites, to be honest. It's so simple but really effective.
It's top 5 bosses in my opinion.
Yeah, it's brilliant. The setting with all the the white flowers and everything, it's brilliant, and then the emotional impact of it all. And visually at the time it was stunning. It includes this amazing James Bond-esque opening credit scene, which is later used in the game as you climb a ladder and the whole song plays, and it's absolutely brilliant. It sounds just so like Kojima being up his own ass. Like you have to climb a ladder and listen to a 3.5 minute long song from the opening credit, the Snake Eater song. But it's just a really wonderful respite for the player. It doesn't make the game grind to a halt.
It's a cappella as well, isn't it?
It makes you kind of appreciate it a little bit more, and you listen to this song, and it achieved critically acclaim, numerous awards, and its Metacritic was 91 out of 100. It went up to 94 out of 100 when Subsistence was released, and even Kojima says it's the best out of the series. So what more do you want?
Yeah, Subsistence added the 3D camera, which just changed the game completely.
Yeah. So that's mine and my ramblings.
Incredible, mate. Incredible. Gadget, your rebuttal.
Well, I mean, my rebuttal I'm going to keep to the 3 minutes that we agreed to. My God, man. Words.
We've got plenty of time. You wait till I get to Half-Life 2.
Oh, fuck me. So I'm talking about Silent Hill 2, which was released by Konami in September 24th, 2001. Developed by the legendary Team Ico. Not Team Ico, the Team Silent, rather. I'm sorry, I've got Ico on the brain. But developed by the legendary Team Silent, who developed all the good Silent Hill games, and that's pretty much all they did, actually. This game takes us back to the titular town in the northeast of the United States, Silent Hill, based on towns in Maine, I believe.
Yeah, it's New England, I think, something like that.
Yeah. This time, you're not following Harry Mason, you're with James Sunderland. This is a completely different story set in the same town. He's a widower who journeys to the town of Silent Hill after receiving a letter from his dead wife informing him that she's waiting there for him.
That's fucked up, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it is a psychological horror game. It's very different to a lot of its contemporaries at the time. So a lot of the horror games that were coming out in like the late 90s, early 2000s were very much like your Resident Evils. They were very jump scare based. They were very
The PS2 exclusive Extermination.
Yeah, like they were very campy and very bloody for the sake of it. Where Silent Hill 2 especially did its best to get under your skin. It played with sound. It played with what you can and what you can't see. It was an expert. The developers were experts at using the unseen to unsettle you. When you do see the monsters in it, they are horrific body monstrosities of body parts just kind of stapled together. As you go through the story, you meet other survivors in the town who see things differently to James. You meet a little girl who doesn't see the monsters. You meet a man who sees the people that he's wronged rather than the same monsters that James sees. And it's the first game that develops this idea that Silent Hill reflects the mental trauma and the mental anguish of the people who inhabit it. You get a heartbreaking scene towards the last... Well, before getting to that, actually, as you wander around Silent Hill, you encounter Maria, who looks exactly like James's wife Mary, but her personality is different. She dresses differently.
Different coloured hair.
Slightly different coloured hair. And yeah, she is leading James through the town. She is very coquettish. She insinuates a lot with him. And as you go through the story, you get this heartbreaking scene where you find a videotape of Mary's last moments. And it's revealed that Mary was suffering from, I believe it's cancer, I think she's suffering from. Yeah. She's very ill. She's a very ill woman. And James kills her in a mercy killing.
Euthanizes her.
Yeah, everything kind of coalesces together. This is all of James's guilt pushing together. All of his sexual frustration, all the fact that he cheated on Mary in her dying days. All the facts that he is emotionally an absolute bastard, but he's not a bad man. He's just not a good man. And all the guilt and all the pain that weighs on top of him for the way he lost his wife and the way he behaved while his wife was dying. And it's just incredible. The soundtrack from Akira Yamaoka is beautiful, haunting, terrifying, brutal.
Is it like is it a mandolin or something that he's playing?
No, it's the mandolin is Silent Hill 1.
Oh, I'm thinking of that one, yeah.
With Silent Hill 2 soundtrack, it's kind of like early 2000s alternative indie rock.
Oh, God, yeah. It's just straight come to my head now. Yeah, I know exactly which one you mean.
Yeah, you hear that riff right in your head.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, I like it.
It was obviously a PlayStation 2 game. It worked with the limitations of the hardware, because even in 2001, people were already kind of pushing up against what the PS2 could do.
We still needed Fog.
But Fog was like one of the biggest characters in the game as well.
Yeah.
They say it was the unseen. You were walking around, you had that radio on you, and anytime you got close to one of the monsters, the static sound would come out of it. And it still freaks me out if I ever hear radio static now. I still think, shit, there's a monster nearby. It's like a Pavlovian response to it. And there's some of the puzzles that didn't work that well. Some of the whole thing with the box of drink. You have to drop down to get a key. Some of that stuff's really weird and very idiosyncratic. But other than that, I think it's a perfect game. It's one of those games that I don't find a lot of horror games particularly scary. And the ones that try too hard to be scary just end up pissing me off by the end of it. This one and Silent Hill 3 to a slightly lesser extent, but this one especially, this one put the proper dread into me. The proper feeling of absolute horror. Even though I didn't play it until 2016.
Wow.
I didn't play it when it was originally on the PS2, but I got an original PS2 and I played it through. And even then, even playing the horror games I've played up to this point in the higher res graphics and all that, this is still a masterclass in horror.
It did the thing where, there's nothing scarier than hearing an air raid siren. But how they use this in Silent Hill, my God.
That still freaks me out, that moment.
Yeah.
It's a scary sound in general.
Yeah. I haven't even talked about the transitions from the overworld to the otherworld.
Yeah.
Where you go from the fog-covered Silent Hill to this dark, horrible, wretched, rusty,
Hellraiser-looking place.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
Hooks and chains everywhere.
Yeah.
Horrible.
So, that's my pitch for Silent Hill 2. Regardless whether or not it goes out at this point, this is one of the greatest games ever made.
And it introduces Red Pyramid, Pyramid Head, the Executioner, whatever you want to call him. And he's got many names.
Yes, which Konami managed to ruin in future games by overusing it.
Yes,
Because
they did.
Pyramid Head is very specific to James Sunderland, and he should not be used in any other games.
They did.
And it's a Super Smash Brothers.
No, they did a game where it showed how he became that character.
I was like, but we already knew how he became to be.
It's not
it's
real.
in Silent Hill 2.
Yeah, he's so fucking fucked up. But that wasn't Team Silent, that one. So it doesn't matter.
No, exactly. But yeah, Team Silent were amazing. I really wish they would get back together and do another game. Doesn't have to be Silent Hill. Just put those people back in a room and see what shit they come out with.
I'd love to have seen them take on a Project Zero, something like that.
Ooh, oh yeah,
Yeah, you know what I mean.
yeah.
So now do we have to? Do you two have
You have to choose.
Well, it's up to you three.
Yeah.
I'm really torn here because I love Hideo Kojima, but I also really love horror games. And I think, Stig, you described what the game was about and how it played, but you didn't really convince me with what you personally love about it. What makes it really stand out above other games? You know, it's the best game. What makes it that game that's just that little pip over the edge?
Finished it.
Spot now.
That's what
Many
happens when
games.
people ask you questions, Stig. They put you on the spot.
Well, I've always loved Metal Gear Solid. I love the. I was never a massive fan of 5 because it kind of went away from what I love about Metal
You're
Gear
wrong.
Solid.
It's incredible.
Is it? No. Shush. It's my time to speak. I like the lineal batshit craziness of Metal Gear Solid. I like the weird storylines, the weird characters, and I like it's got a start and it's got an end. But this one it hit all the right beats in terms of the stealthness. I mean, I'm not even a massive stealth fan. A lot of games where you need to do stealth, I just end up running in and just causing
mate.
havoc.
Same.
But this one,
I've got no
actually,
patience.
Exactly. This is a game that made me play stealth and appreciate it,
Yeah.
and I really appreciated that. And the story of Naked Snake and the boss is one of the best stories in all of game, in my opinion. That end fight scene is just like, it didn't need to be like them two running at each other, shooting big guns at each other, shooting like fighting in Metal Gears and doing stuff like that. It's a really emotional and like I said, it's a heart wrenching moment where these two they basically fight. He becomes the master. He eventually takes down the boss. He becomes big boss. There's a massive twist around it at the end, which just blows your mind and everything. And I just think it's brilliant. I think it's one of the best stealth games. You put it to Splinter Cell came out earlier that year. No one talks about that.
Nope.
Because this game is just like head and shoulders above most and still a lot of stealth games. It was doing things then that some games don't even do now. Like the camo system and everything like that. No other game does that. So
And Snake versus monkeys.
Yeah, and then they added stuff like they added all the other boss battles and things, and you could go back and like just the way you can take down bosses differently. Like you obviously feel like when you play in the other games, only Vamp really came up as a challenge.
Yeah.
The rest of them just seem to be like throw some C4 down when they get near it, blow it up.
The clever thing
Whereas
is, though, when you do take the bosses down differently, you get rewards for it.
Yeah, this made you like think of ways to do that.
Hang on, Oodles, are you campaigning on behalf of Stig here?
No.
No, he just knows. He just likes to talk 'cause it's a game that he loves.
I do love it. I love them both, actually.
Yeah. So
I'm the same. I like both games, but for me, I loved Silent Hill 2 more. It just remember it better. I like that dark side of that game. It was incredible. Like Gadget said, it just resonated more with me. That game, for some reason, I remember playing all the Metal Gears, but 3 just doesn't stick out as much for me as Silent Hill 2 did.
how it's the best one.
Yeah, that's my pick for me, I'm afraid.
The man who created it says it's the best out of the bunch. That's all you need to know.
Come on, Oodles,
Did he
where
do
are
a
you going?
director's cut, though?
Now,
Yes, that's what subsistence was.
Yeah. It is tougher than I initially thought because, Silent Hill 2 did something that I didn't think could be done. It made Resident Evil 2 look stupid when it came to scares and fear and survival horror. It made it look like a cartoon in comparison. Silent Hill 2 was the first game ever where I thought the game was still at an FMV, a cutscene, but it was just James staring at the mirror at the
Oh
beginning.
yeah, that's a great moment. That
I thought it was the FMV, but no, that was me. That I'm ready for the game. That was in game, and I didn't realise for about 5 minutes. I thought, what's going to happen? Bear in mind, I'm on a CRT telly.
I think that probably happened to me when I played that.
Yeah,
as well.
CRT telly. I'm miles away from the actual telly with my big long PlayStation 2 wire, because they were long wires on the PlayStation 2.
they were.
And I'm like, come on, what's going to happen? Is it going to jump out? Oh shit, I'm controlling it. So that's the first time that ever happened to me. But Metal Gear Solid 3 is one of my favourite games of all time. I'm going Metal Gear. Just for that.
Okay.
It might be a wasted vote, but I'm going for it.
One's a piece. Joe, you're the deciding vote here.
Well, I was going to go Silent Hill, hands down, but Stiggy did make a really compelling argument to finish off there.
He did.
So I have to go with... Oh, this is hard.
You weren't there for Biscuits. It was harder.
I was not there for
We
Biscuits.
still have flashbacks every time I see a Bourbon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do love Silent Hill, but I also don't like what Konami did to it. But then we're not talking about subsequent...
Yeah, because what did
Yeah,
they do
so
to
we-
Metal Gear as well?
I was going to say
Yeah.
Konami did the same to Metal Gear.
No. They only released that shit game Survive. Like, the rest of it's all Kojima.
Kojima loved number 3 so much, he wanted the sequel to be on Vita only. That's how much he loved it. Because he knew how big the
Oh,
Vita was in
Peace Walker,
Japan.
wasn't it?
Peace Walker, yeah. He knew it. What a clever man. What a smart boss.
I'm going to go with Silent Hill, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Oh, it really hurts. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It killed
Like,
me.
Just pull me in like that and then just take a shit on me at the
I'm
end.
still deciding myself.
Honestly, Stig, you've been robbed here, mate. You've been
Yeah.
Okay.
robbed.
So for the second knockout stage,
I've never played Silent Hill, by the way, so I had nothing to like come back at
You'd
him
love
with.
it.
Like,
You genuinely would love it.
I generally
Wait.
couldn't come back and be like, no, I didn't have anything that I could say this is better than that because I've never played
You'd
it.
love it still
Well,
today.
to be fair, I've never played Metal Gear Solid 3 because I can't fucking see anything in it.
Yeah, there is that.
Anyway,
I love MGS3.
so the second knockout stage then is going to be Final Fantasy VII, which is Biggie's
Oh.
choice,
Bloody hell.
versus Bioshock, which is Candy's choice.
One of these is going. Oh my god!
Fuck! This is exactly what I didn't want to happen. I did not want to come up
God.
against Final Fantasy, and I didn't want to come up against Biggie either, because look at this little
We've
face.
lost MGS3, so
Okay, so who's up?
Go on, Biggie.
Oh, okay. So,
this is fresh in
if
his
you've been
memory.
listening-
This.
if you've been listening to the pod much at all, you may have heard about this game and me. It's Final Fantasy VII. Very quickly, for those that may be new listeners, this game was released in '97 on the PSX1. The game's story follows Cloud Strife, a mercenary who joins an eco-terrorist organisation to stop a world-controlling megacorporation from using the planet's life essence as an energy source. The events send Cloud and his allies in pursuit of Sephiroth, depending on how you say it, a former member of the corporation who seeks to harm the planet and become a god. Now, during this game, it's a JRPG. If you've played one of those games before, you kind of know what you're getting with this game. But when this game came out, for me, it was something special. I have a lot of history with this game.
It was so
24
special he
years
didn't
of it.
finish it.
But I also played it at least 24 times
Yeah.
over those years.
That's true.
It was directed by, forgive my pronunciation, Yoshinori Kitase, composed by Nobuo Umeatsu. It's pretty much available on most platforms today. If you've never played it, you can still play it
Play it
now.
on your phone, mate.
You can play it on your phone. This game, it was referred to by GameFan as quite possibly the greatest game ever made. GameSpot mentions that never before have technology, playability, and narrative combined as well as in Final Fantasy VII. GamePro gave it a perfect 5 out of 5 in all 4 categories: graphics, sound, control, fun factor, calling the storytelling dramatic, sentimental, and touching in a way that draws you into the characters, who come alive thanks to sweetly subtle body movements. And it has a 92. I'll come back to that in a minute. There's 92% Metacritic score currently.
Wow.
Now, The game does have a bit of a history. It was a bit of a mismatch when it got put together. It even released on a game system it wasn't originally made for. But they somehow pulled it out of the bag. The background art is fantastic. It doesn't quite always work with the 3D animated sprites, but these little sprites that you use on the screen come with a charm. When Barrett, one of the main characters, is furious, he starts wiggling his arms around, shooting everything around you. It's cuteness beyond cuteness. This game features so many side quests. You could literally mainline this game, or you could spend hours and hours and hours trying to find every single secret. There's memorable music. There's interesting enemies. It's still entertaining now since it's been released. It's even had a movie made of it, and to follow the story on as well. And there's currently a remake, which is still in development now as a series. There's so many secrets to uncover, creating friendships along the way. There's a flexible combat system with so many choices of magic and incredible summons to watch and discover and combine.
And not be able to skip.
Shut up, you. It's not yours. But yeah, I just love this game. I've played it so many times. It's my comfort game. I did only just finish it this year, but it's a game that I could even play again now. I can just switch it on, start hearing that music come in. I know exactly what's happening in the game when I hear the music. I just love it so much. And if you've never played it, please, please, please play it.
Good pitch, man. Good pitch.
And now, Candy?
Your rebuttal?
Right then, so I'm going with BioShock, and I'm going to just focus on the first entry, even though it's important to keep in mind that the series as a whole is kind of perfectly encapsulated as a trilogy. So the game starts, you're in a plane crash, drop into the middle of the ocean by a mysterious lighthouse, which subsequently leads you to the underground city of Ratchet, which is in complete and utter chaos. The gameplay is so simple, yet so effective. It proves that a game doesn't have to be overly complicated and mechanics to be a masterpiece. It's shoot, bang, zap, heal, and that's all you need. Upgrading yourself and your weapons and abilities, it's a feature that is present, but it's not sort of overly important. You just have to kind of get better at the game to progress. At the beginning of the game, it's just you and your wrench. So you get thrown into the world that's descended into complete chaos and anarchy, completely overrun with splices, and you do feel sort of genuinely vulnerable, I think. It's absolutely packed full of atmosphere. It's a genuinely unsettling game in some parts, despite it not being marketed as a horror game. It does use devices from classic horror films, such as seeing the shadow of the splicer around the corner just seconds before all the lights go out, and that's pretty unnerving, to say the least. The world building in itself is incredible. It's such a unique setting. It's one of the few games of its generation to reconsider what would make a new and exciting environment. Not only is it set in a city underwater, but it has that real kind of Art Nouveau style, you know, all the sort of brasses and coppers of the 40s and 50s, nice square patterns set against that turquoisey background. And it's got a soundtrack that sort of matches in with that as well. And in the moments you do hear a abandoned radio come across, you know, it's playing How Much Is That Doggy in the Window, just playing along to itself. And you just know there's something around the corner. You haven't seen it yet, but it's just that horrible, grisly, that hot neck feeling where you know something's about to jump out at you. It has got multiple endings. One of the few bad endings that made me feel sort of genuine remorse for a decision I'd made. It was just a snap decision just to make my life slightly easier at the time, and I definitely questioned my own morals. And the story, like the environment, it's compelling, it's full of twists. Twists, turns, surprises. At one certain point, it'll make you look back at the entire game up until that particular point in a completely different light. It questions human nature, morality, free will, and I can't really think of any other game that's genuinely shocked me as much as that particular moment. It has to be in the top 10 plot twists, I think, of all time. Oodles, I saw your face when you got to that moment. It was like watching the 5 stages of grief.
It's incredible. It's incredible. It really is.
It is. It just thinking about it now, it's just goosebump central. And the levels sort of, on the face of it, they seem quite simple, just go from room to room, but actually they're really well thought out and they need to be played intelligently. You can't just kind of, going back to that feeling of vulnerability, you can't just go sort of bulldozing into it.
Yeah, you can.
Not with 20...
I did.
mean, you shouldn't.
Yeah, and it didn't get you very far from it.
I saw a few deaths.
I teleported more than anyone in that game. Ever.
But you do. You have to think out your route. You have to make a plan B and a plan C, and that still won't work. And again, it makes you just kind of question your own decisions, which is addressed, but in terms of like even the big daddies and stuff, they're not aggressive towards you until you're aggressive towards them. So just for atmospherics and the story and the visuals as well, for the time it came out, it still holds up now. And I know there's a remaster, but it didn't change much in terms of the visuals because it didn't need to. It's just completely for atmosphere. It's second to none, I think.
Excellent.
And I've just realised how fucked I am when I've got Gadget with his Ratchet background. Stiggy's never played the game and never will. And I've just got Oodles probably in my corner, perhaps, but he's also just played Bioshock as well.
And also, I've just literally pulled a piece of Bioshock artwork off my wall.
And don't forget, I have my Rapture background, and I also have my Rapture foreground because I've got an art canvas right in front of me of Rapture. So I'm pretty much going to. I love Final Fantasy VII, but I'm going Bioshock. It's one of my favorite games of all time.
Is that you just in straight away?
Just straight away. It's not even worth me arguing. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Final Fantasy VII. It's an amazing game, but I love Bioshock more.
It was like me with MGS and Silent Hill. It's like, they're both incredible.
It's no contest. Sorry, Biggie. I'm never going to play it. I never will. I don't like those games. I love Bioshock, so... Sorry. If I'd have played it, maybe, but I just have no interest in them. So
You can play on your PS5 now. You can play it on your PS5. I can't say anymore.
Sorry. Like, it was a losing battle from my end from the get-go. You could have given the greatest... could have been the greatest speech of all time, most compelling argument of all time, but
you can have a blowy.
Anyway, no, it's sorry, Bioshock.
It might take me a while to get there, by the way. It's not going to happen tonight.
Bioshock was in my short list of when we were going to do this, so like.
Nah, that's fair dues. Over to you, Oodles. Oh, I can't win anyway, can I?
No, but you might as well.
No, but there's obviously...
I want to hear the devil's advocate point of view.
Bioshock is a modern-day masterpiece. I know I played it. I was very late to the party. I played it on Switch and it still looked incredible. It still ran incredible. I'm terrible at it, but I still managed to get what's considered the best ending, even though I finished it drunk. I don't think I'll forget Bioshock for a very long time in my life, ever. And it was nice to have someone like... I had Gadget and everyone else watching me in the background. Like, Gadget constantly reminding me that, I need to spare the little girls if I've got any morals whatsoever.
Yeah.
Because he knew I wasn't gonna.
Yeah. And it's also how you get the good ending. You let one of those little girls die, and you get the bad ending straight away.
Yeah, and I'd have just harvested their organs if I had to. Do you know what I mean? To get more powerful. But no, I persevered, and I was underpowered because of that. But then it pays off the longer
it pays dividends.
Yeah, and it's that for me in gaming. That is a massive stroke of rewriting the rule books. Like, there's not many first-person shooters, if you want to call it that I can say I truly love. Do you know what I mean? Because it's not my genre. It's like Stig with JRPGs. First-person games are not my genre whatsoever. Final Fantasy VII, I've gone on record to say I believe I overhyped that as a kid. In retrospect, I don't think it's as good as people say. And it's my least favourite PlayStation generation Final Fantasy.
So does that mean you're going Bioshock?
But it's got a Nobuo Uematsu soundtrack. I'm going Bioshock, sorry.
I'm sorry, I don't feel good about that. That doesn't feel like a good win.
Although in all fairness, I love Bioshock myself. I absolutely love Bioshock.
So the draws are now going to be Bloodborne versus The Witcher 3, Silent Hill 2 versus GTA 3, Dragon Quest 11 versus Bioshock, and Skyrim versus Half-Life 2. So we'll start with the first drawing, which is Bloodborne, which is my game, versus The Witcher 3, which is Oodles' game.
That's like telling me which child I want to kill.
Well, we know, because you got cattle prodders. It's not a problem, is it?
Both of them. No choice anymore.
Well, right. Oodles, would you like to start off and lead us in with The Witcher 3?
Witcher 3's the second best game ever made. ever. It is the absolute zenith of last generation console action role-playing adventure games. CD Projekt Red created this game. It took them forever, what felt like forever for me to make it, but they just, oh my god, the difference between Witcher 2 and Witcher 3 is astronomical. This game is just incredible. It's the game that makes mainline oodles not mainline a game. Do you know what I mean? That's a big thing. I have literally played this on every console that I can. I haven't been able to play it on PC because I don't have a powerful enough laptop. But I've played from start to finish. I've got every single ending that's ever existed. I've played all the incredible DLCs. I've played them multiple times. It's the tale of Geralt of Rivia, The Witcher. Everyone knows who The Witcher is. It's an absolute... It is massive now. It's a phenomenon. Obviously with the show and stuff like that and the books. What can I say? I'm trying to stick with a 3-minute rule as well, by the way. And I don't know. It's just incredible. It's the best one of probably the best open world action role playing game you can think of, in my opinion. People moan about the combat. It's absolutely fine. The combat's fine. Stop being ridiculous. This game, you can play the game without. Not many, but apart from the bosses, you don't have to fight. Do you know what I mean? You can talk your way out of things. It's a role-playing game that you don't get to decide your role. You are Geralt of Rivia, but you can make him your Geralt of Rivia. You can even shave his beard off if you want, if you're a weirdo. It's just it's so good. Just think about the moments that we've got. We've got Crookback Bog. We've got the Red Baron. We've got, I don't know.
That's the same quest.
It's not. It's two separate quests. We've got the first time you set foot on Skellige. We've got the first time you go to Toussaint. It's so, oh my god, it's so incredible. It's just so good that just the interactions with trolls, because trolls are actual sentient creatures, but they're not very smart. We've got the spells, the signs you've got. It's just so good. Come on, it's Witcher 3, best game. 3 minutes.
Okay. So my rebuttal for Bloodborne. Bloodborne released the same year as The Witcher 3, in fact about a month beforehand. Made by the venerable From Software, directed by the legendary Hidetaka Miyazaki. This is the ultimate refinement of the Dark Souls formula. It's an action RPG set in the fictional town of Yharnam, where werewolves have appeared. Or rather, beasts are among the place, and you're part of the hunt. You're advised quite early on to fear the old blood, but to make sure that you last through the night and hunt down every beast that you can find. Combat-wise, this game refines everything that Dark Souls and Demon Souls did before to a razor-sharp...
That pun intended as well.
Yeah, I was trying to make the pun, but it's kind of fallen out the back of my head. It basically refines it down to perfection. It is fast. You're encouraged. There are no shields. There is one shield in the game, and it
don't
takes
use
the
it.
Piss out of you for it takes the piss out of you for wanting to use it. The game encourages you to be very, very aggressive. Like, you will take damage from enemies, but if you hit them fast enough afterwards, you'll get a lot of that health back. It encourages you to move. You move so much faster than you ever did in Dark Souls at any time. In fact, so much so that Dark Souls 3 took a lot of the movement tech from Bloodborne, because people like that fast, hyperactive movement. The art style is utterly gorgeous. You go through Central Yharnam, and it's like looking at Tim Burton's view of London. It's utterly gorgeous. It's dark, wrought iron, bloody, wet, horrible, disgusting in places. The boss fights are cathartic and incredible. Some of the boss fights aren't even ridiculous monsters. Like, one of my favourite boss fights is Father Gascoigne, who is another hunter. He is a hunter like you. And it is the most energetic, balletic fight in the game, or at least one of them.
Then he turns into a ridiculous monster.
He does turn into a ridiculous monster, yes, and then you get to knock the shit out of a ridiculous monster. The score for it is absolutely beautiful. And I'm thinking back to what Stig was saying when he was talking about Metal Gear Solid 3 about the fight with the boss at the end, because I've seen that on YouTube. And yeah, it's a fight in a field with white flowers, but it's nothing compared to the fight with Gehrman at the end of Bloodborne.
It is.
That fight is beautiful.
But
the soundtrack that comes up, the way that you actually dance through this graveyard, it's utterly astonishingly.
I love that fight with German, but it's no the boss.
You have to have the emotional connection for that boss fight. Like, if you've just watched it on YouTube, it's like,
Well, yeah, of course I'm not going to have the emotional connection. I can't play the fucking game. But yeah, for me, like when I play Dark Souls, and when I play Demon Souls or Dark Souls 2 or whatever, there are bits of those games I don't like. Bits that I think, oh, this sucks. For instance, the Bed of Chaos or the Gutter, or places like bits of the game where it's just like they haven't done their best. There's not a bit like that in Bloodborne.
There is. It's got the Chalice dungeons.
And they don't count towards the main story though. Like when I'm talking about just the main game here.
Okay.
Like even when you go into the DLC, like a lot of DLCs can be forgiven as like afterthoughts and that, but the DLC just takes it up to the next level. You got this huge ascending tower that you have to work your way up with fucking just puzzles on where the stairs lie. You have the Living Failures, which is a really actually very creepy boss fight. But then you get into Lady Maria. Oh, that fight is incredible. It's almost like an anime battle. It's just the visual spectacle of this fight, which you would think you would miss most of it given how fast it is and how much concentration is required to beat her. But no, it's just incredible, and it stays with you. And then you get the final battle with the Orphan of Kos, one of the most annoyingly difficult fights in any From Software game. But when you beat it, the scream that it makes when it dies, it's just like, yeah, I fucking killed this game. I fucking killed you. Yeah, From Software always gets me going. Like, there's not a single one of their games I dislike, but Bloodborne is the greatest that they've done, and probably my favorite game of all time.
It hasn't got a cohesive story like The Witcher 3, though, has it?
Does that matter?
Not really. Just saying.
Well, I'm going to make this easy for me. I haven't played Bloodborne apart from the first hour and struggled because I didn't understand what I was doing wrong. Now I do because I played Dark Souls, and I will play Bloodborne one day.
Oh, you love it.
But I have played Witcher 3, and I love that game. And it's what made me stop playing Fallout 4 when I realised just how bad Fallout 4 is compared to... That's when you see what they should have done. I loved Fallout 3. It's one of my favourite... It's one of my all-time games. I have to say, I played that game to death. And I loved Fallout 3, and I was so excited for Fallout 4. And Fallout 4 came out, and it was so similar to how Fallout 3 kind of looked and felt, but it wasn't enough for me. And then I played The Witcher, and I was like, oh my God, this is what you can do? This is what you can do with a game like Fallout 3? And just, I was blown away. So, easy for me, Witcher 3.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Witcher as well. For me, it's controversially, I don't like the art style of Bloodborne.
I don't either.
I find it a bit dreary and it's just a bit ick. And I didn't really like the accessibility as well. I know not all games have to be easy or have to cater to different skill levels, but I would have liked the choice, especially having not played any previous Souls games or anything. So I'm going with Witcher 3.
I mean, it doesn't really matter now, does it?
Yeah.
But you got a game that I didn't really like against a game I've never played. So
Which one haven't you played?
Witcher 3.
You'll love it.
Okay, so we'll count that as a vote for Bloodborne by default.
Well, I probably would have gone with Witcher. I think I would enjoy. I know I would enjoy Witcher 3 more.
I do.
If I eventually play it, and I know the PS5 has got some
upgrades
coming. Yeah.
So I'm thinking about playing it on that when I can.
I'd love to see you play that, man.
I know. I just know the story, those fantasy style stories, the type of game. I just enjoy that a lot more. I tried Bloodborne. I really did. I struggled for God knows how long to get past around the first fucking corner.
Yeah,
exactly the
it's
same.
a tough
for me.
start. It's Bloodborne. It is, but it gets easier.
I went like up one set of stairs, across, down one set of stairs. I just kept getting battered, and I was like, "This is not fun." I was looking for stuff like. It's not telling me what to do. I never played a From Software game before, so I didn't realise that it was literally just throw you in there. Yeah. People were just like, this is going to be amazing, play it. So I was like, okay, I'll play it. And then I went onto the forum, and I was just like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? And they went, just run away so you can set yourself. Don't actually fight them, run away, set yourself, and then roll, and then you can do the dodging. And I was like, oh, okay, then I got it a bit more. But I still can't get on with them.
Yeah, fair enough.
But,
I mean, it's always a hard sell with this group.
Yeah. It's
only really Oodles that could go for it, so being up against him.
I know, I would have voted for it against anything else, you know I would.
Honestly, it's just I do want to try Demon Souls on the PS5. I want to give him a go.
I don't think Demon Souls is a good start, though. To be fair,
No, Dark Souls is the better.
Dark Souls is the better start for the whole series. Yeah.
No, it's not.
Anyway, so that's Witcher 3 going forward.
Yes.
Next up, we have me again, Silent Hill 2 versus Biggie, Grand Theft Auto 3. So do you want to go? We've already heard
Yeah, you
my
don't have to pitch
for
it
Silent
again.
Hill 2. Yeah, so do you want to go for your pitch, Biggie?
Yeah, so GTA 3. So this was released in 2001, set within the fictional Liberty City, which is kind of loosely based on New York City. The story follows a silent protagonist called Claude.
He had a name. I didn't even know he had a name.
Yeah, he does.
Who,
Yeah,
after
Oh, cool.
being betrayed and left for dead by his girlfriend during a robbery, embarks on a quest for revenge that leads him to become entangled in a world of crime, drugs, gang warfare, and corruption. All the best things. This to date has sold 14.5 million copies. During the story, Claude meets various characters from the gangs as you go around doing missions and stuff. Depending on which gang you've been doing favours for, you get attacked from other gangs. So this open world kind of feels like you're living and breathing it. If you don't want to go to an area that's particularly threatening, then you can just... And when I played this game, it just blew my mind. All you really need to do is go and check out a screenshot of any of the GTA games before 3 and look at the difference where it went from GTA
Bird's eye
top-down
view.
view to this 3D world, living and breathing. And when I played this game, at one point, I just followed people around like a stalker, just listening to conversations, just getting into cars, just driving around the city with the incredible made-up radio stations. The amount of work that went into that soundtrack is just incredible. But yeah, I just love this game. It was the way it went from that the top-down 2D to the 3D, for me, was just an absolute game changer. The influence this game has had on games, even now to this date, is still there. You can look at your Far Cry's, you can look at any game that has missions-based, Assassin's Creed. It's all coming back to this game. You've got rampages you can discover. There's hidden packages if you just want to go and hunt them
Jumps.
down. You can even jumps. You can even be like a fireman or an ambulance or a paramedic driving a taxi. You can drive people from their house to work if you want to and earn money that way. It's just open world. For the first time for me, it was a living, breathing world, and it's for me, it's that moment in history in my gaming life where my mind was blown. It was an absolute game changer for me, and you can still play this game now. Still enjoy it. Yes, it might look a little bit janky compared to games currently, but that's just the way things are. But the fact you can still play this game and enjoy it, I love it. I just think it's an incredible achievement. Just a marvel.
Great pitch, mate. Great pitch. I'm not going first with this one.
I mean, I will concede GTA 3 was a great game and had a massive impact at the time. Like, I loved it. It was the first game I got for my PS2.
Yeah, same.
I should go. I don't know. You guys. I suppose I should have to go to GTA 3 because it's the only one I've played out of the two.
Yeah.
But
He picked the wrong GTA, didn't he?
he picked the wrong GTA for me. Yeah,
Why didn't you pick Vice
Why?
City? Come on.
It's my choice.
I know it is, but Vice City and San Andreas and GTA 5 have all bettered them, and
But
I
this
know
is
it's
the
your
one that
choice.
started
I know
it.
it's your-
This is
it
for me,
is,
this
but there are games that they are
one of the greatest games because the rest that followed it are just taking this blueprint.
Yeah,
making
yeah.
it better. I'm making it better though.
Yeah, I mean, I would have said San Andreas was the definitive one of the PS2.
Got everything, hasn't it?
Yeah,
Everyone's got a favourite.
everyone's got a
5,
favourite.
4, San Andreas, Vice City. I love Vice City. as
Four.
well.
I don't think
But
four's
for me,
anyone's
it's
favourite,
the game
is it?
changer.
I
Some
like
people do
4.
like that.
I don't like the driving physics in 4.
Yeah.
Four bored me, the storyline.
Bored me as well, mate.
Cousin, come play bowling with me.
Cousin.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
I know that I would love Silent Hill 2, but I've not played it. And I feel like I can't
In good faith.
say like, I can't vote for a game based on what I know I would potentially like over a game that I did play and I did actually really love. My argument would have been, if it would have been drawn against me, Biggie, would have been that like there are better versions of this game, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I know what you're saying, but
Yeah.
It's from my opinion.
Oh,
what I
yeah,
think
of
is
course, that's-
the change from 2
I
to
get
3
it.
was just
I
something
get it,
else.
but yeah, like, sorry, Gadget. I know I would
That's
love
fine.
Silent Hill 2, but I've not played it. I can't.
Just promise me at some point you'll even just emulate it, because it is very much worth your
Don't
time.
play the
to
HD remasters.
Oh, good
no,
God,
no.
Okay.
They get rid of the fog. They get rid of all the good stuff about it.
The mystery.
Get rid of the voice actors.
I was going to say they recast the voice actors in it as well for some stupid reason.
Yeah.
It gets all Troy Baker up in there.
Oh, of course it does. Sorry, Troy.
Friend of the show.
Fan of the show.
We'll hear about that later.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that GTA really did set the bar, but I'm going to have to go with Silent Hill just for the atmosphere.
Oh, so shit,
Yeah, it's
so
Silent Hill
down
for
up
me.
to me.
Should
Yeah,
have gone first.
Silent Hill 2, as I stated, it got psychological horror right the first time. I don't think Silent Hill 1 lives up to its pedigree. Silent Hill 2,
No,
Silent Hill 2
Silent
is
Hill-
the pedigree.
Yeah, Silent Hill 1 hasn't aged very well.
No.
And it did a lot of things right, but it was also a reasonably conventional story. Like when you get into the kind of the back half of it, it's just like, oh, it's cultists.
Yeah. Silent Hill 2 just did it did things to me on such a level, an unnerving level. Like it gave me gaming OCD that I've never had before. Like I checked every door from
Yeah.
anti-clockwise. I always did it anti-clockwise for whatever reason. I don't know why. And I
I
checked.
think everyone
Lucky
did, I
left.
did the same.
Yeah, you just check every door, and you check every floor at a time, and it does I love a good map in a game. I love a good map.
Oh, it's a good map as well.
It's a
isn't
good
it?
map, and even the remakes of Resident Evil have taken that type of map and spinned it into their own way. GTA 3 though, I remember seeing it on official PlayStation magazine. I was like, this game don't exist. I can't exist. This cannot exist. You know what I mean? It's no way can you just not do a mission and go around and just use a baseball bat on people and steal the money and do all that and crash into shop windows and stuff. Yeah, you couldn't go in every building, but why would you bother when outside's so fun?
I used to try and see how long I could stay alive for by finding the highest
and
point.
that dodo airplane. Oh my God.
Shooting people, seeing how long it would take for the police to try and get me. Tanks would turn up. I mean, it's ridiculous.
GTA 3, man. Wow. But you went for the wrong GTA, Biggie. In my opinion, Vice City really just changed everything for me. It made me fall in love with that series, with music, the characters, Ray Liotta. I'm going to have to go with Silent Hill 2. Sorry, mate.
Right.
Excellent.
It meant more to me. It did more things for me. Same platform, I know that. I get that. But yeah, Silent Hill 2, man. I'd play that tomorrow or tonight, but I wouldn't play GTA 3 ever again, I don't think. That's the difference. Sorry, mate. If you'd said Vice City, mate, it'd have won. It would have won for me if you said Vice City.
I'm out. I don't have anything.
Yeah, Biggie's out now.
Go on if you want.
Cheers, mate.
I am home. Good, stay there.
Shit, yeah.
We need your vote, pal.
So next up, we're going to be hearing a lot from Oodles because it's Dragon Quest XI versus Bioshock.
Biggie will remember these votes.
Now I know Dragon Quest XI is not for everyone. It is a Japanese role-playing game, and it is the most Japanese role-playing game you could ever play.
It is quite Japanese.
Oh, yes, it is. This is the only game that I've completed and played that many times. I don't want to divulge exactly how many times because it's disgusting. It's a 100+ hour JRPG. Like, it doesn't break the mold. That's the weird thing. It perfects the recipe, if you get me. It doesn't do anything new for the genre at all. And those that have played it and completed it know exactly what I mean. It perfects it. It's like everyone loves a Sunday roast, but you always remember that really good Sunday roast you've had. and you may never have that one again, or I don't know, some kind of cooking. The trouble is, I'm trying to defend something that no one's played, and we know how that works. I know Biggie's played it, but he hasn't played it enough to separate it from the likes of Final Fantasy VII and stuff like that, because it's not that different at first. It's on hour 50, hour 60 where it really changes and becomes truly special. I would have not been happy with myself if I'd not put it in this tournament, because it's surpassed The Witcher 3 as my favourite, because The Witcher 3 was my favourite game of all time, and now this is. And
good conviction.
It's just how it is, mate. It's just how it is. I'm not as good at speaking as you lot when it comes to describing why I like something. I just do. It's just comfort. It's pure. I can play it on any platform I want to play it on currently. I've literally got saves across multiple devices where I can just start that save. I can look at my stats and go, right, I'm here. I know exactly where I need to go. I know exactly what I need to do. And then just slot in. We've all got that thing. Some people play Tetris forever and they've played it since early 90s. I've got Dragon Quest 11 now. Do you know what I mean? It's my comfort. The music's really good. But the thing is, it's not new music. It's music from older games. The combat is the same as the older games, but refined and perfected. And it's funny. It's cute. It's just like I've described this before in reviews I've done about it, and I've wrote verbatim about it. It's a bedtime story of a game. I can play 10 minutes of this and get something out of it, or I can play 10 hours of it and get something out of it as well. It's just it always hits in the right places. It's funny. It's sad. It's beautiful to look at. It's just I adore it. For me, it's the pinnacle of my personal tastes, and I just love it. And I wish more people. I don't even care if it gets any further in this. I just wish more people would give it a go just by listening to how much someone adores something. And I mean, I listened to Stig when he told me about Hollow Knight to play it properly, and he knows I adore that game now, and it paid off. And I know he's not going to play this, but at least one day, maybe.
One day, maybe. When
no more games exist. It's just, I love this genre, and for me, it's the pinnacle. It's just incredible. I love it. Thank you.
So I'll go first very quickly. I've played about 4 hours of Dragon Quest 11. Bounced off it not because it's a bad game, but because it just wasn't for me at the time. Like, it takes a lot for me to get into a JRPG. So it's BioShock, unfortunately, Oodles.
Oh, I know.
Go on, Biggie.
I can go next. I'm the same. I'm enjoying playing Dragon's Quest. I love it. It's a JRPG. It's a great game, and I can not appreciate how good it might be because I haven't got there yet. But I have played BioShock, so for me, it's BioShock.
Oh, man. I was hoping Biggie might go Dragon Quest, and I could have said Dragon Quest and got BioShock out.
I just want people to give it a chance.
I vote with the truth.
No, it was never gonna. I was always gonna choose BioShock, regardless.
Just give it a chance, guys. It's a beautiful game. It's got more. It's got more to give than you realise.
It's very charming, and I haven't even.
It's so charming. If you like games
it is very charming.
People say, "Oh God, I love playing Animal Crossing. It's so wholesome." This is wholesome as well.
Yeah,
so nice. Play it.
Yeah, I don't want to add anything because I don't want to argue against somebody that's so passionate about their favourite game. So I will give it a go.
Yeah, it's just so nice.
There's some top West Country accents in the opening of it.
You're right, me barber.
Oh, I love it then. Right, that's it. I'm going to buy it.
Yeah, she's called Gemma.
Okay, so the last matchup that we have then is Skyrim versus Half-Life 2. So that's dual versus
Fucking hell, they're mammoths.
Skyrim actually has mammoths though, so that's 1 point for it so far.
So it's you're going first.
I don't like either game, so go for it.
Right then, Skyrim. So if you have lived under a rock for the last decade, Skyrim's an RPG from Bethesda Game Studios, and it's directed by my husband, Todd Howard.
Nepotism there.
Why are you laughing? So it's not the first Western RPG, but it was the first to kind of steal the crown from JRPGs, in my opinion. It was the first Western game to get a perfect score in Famitsu magazine. It set the standard for almost a decade of role-playing. Fully immersive sandbox game. You can play as any type of character you want. Melee, mage, werewolf, vampire, good, bad, multiple races. You could be a healer and let your companion do the fighting. You can get married or have kids, be a lone wanderer. There's a decent character appearance
Can you be a
creator
bard?
for its time as well.
No.
I don't...
No.
You can shout pretty well.
No.
You can shout pretty well. It's got a huge map. Not as big as Sun, but what it does have, it's filled up beautifully. You can go where you want, when you want. You can spend hours upon hours in the world without even touching the main story. Even in the vanilla game with no DLC or mods, very little content is locked away from new players. You can have a vastly different experience with it with each playthrough, depending on the choices you make. I know this is commonplace now, but it wasn't so much when it came out. It's got amazing attention to detail. The written dragon language is designed to be written with claws. The map updates to your actions in real time, so if you use a sky clearing shout and open the map, then that area will be clear of clouds.
Wow.
It created an entire dragon language, and veteran players still to this day stumble across things they've never seen before. The atmosphere feels alive and magical. And remember looking into the wintry dark sky to the north of the map and listening to the incredible score and seeing the northern lights dancing around the two moons, or seeing that first dragon sweep down overhead in the opening scene and absolutely shitting yourself at the size of it. I've played it in VR, and I don't think I've ever shit myself quite so much. I almost ran through my living room wall
I didn't even know it was VR.
over me.
Yeah,
It is, and it'll make you
It's on
vomit.
everything.
I know.
Oh,
It's on my
It's
microwave.
even on the fridge.
Yeah, it's the next Doom.
The graphics for its time were pretty beautiful. I know some of the characters are a little bit blocky, but the scenery itself, I remember walking to the first village of Riverwoods and seeing just the lush vegetation in the river and foxes and wildlife running around. The soundtrack from Zero Soul is perfect. It's relaxing when you're just wandering around the map with no other agenda than just exploration. It's tense when it needs to be, and listening to the soundtrack just makes me want to fire up the game and play it right now. I can't think of a more rousing opening theme. Like starting up the game and hearing the
Snake
Dragonborn
Eater.
theme. No, you're wrong there. It's the sort of Nordic chanting. It really makes me feel like I could actually take on a dragon or lead an army into battle. You can hear the clashing of swords within the music. You can hear the dragons roar in the voices, and I'm just getting goosebumps thinking about it. And it holds up by today's standards. The fact that there's a huge community still playing the game, or even picking it up for the first time 10 years later, is a testament to this. I'm not going to mention the modding scene too much because it doesn't really count as the kind of main game, but even the fact that there are modders still willing to work on it and that they want to play it still, they just want to still pay it attention. And if it wasn't a brilliant game, people would have lost interest. And it's just the best game ever. It really is.
Great pitch.
Okay, and Stig for Half-Life 2.
This is the best game ever. Sorry, Skyrim. Developed by Valve, it's 2004 sequel to 1998's Half-Life. This game, they made a whole engine for this game.
Wow.
They spent 5 years and $40 million creating an engine to make this game. Like, that's how big this game is. Gabe Newell set his team a goal of redefining the first-person shooter genre, focusing on advanced physics systems and non-playable characters, and they did that. The physics in this game are insane. So this is set 20 years after the events of Black Mesa. You are Gordon Freeman again. It's your classical hero's journey, model set pieces, story developments, and action escalations that are carefully structured, and the trials of learning and trial. There's a lot of trial and error in a lot of this. And you play as, from Gordon Freeman, you start out as this bit, you're quite isolated to start with, and you work yourself up to basically be Crossbar Jesus. You become the messiah of the city. Everyone loves Gordon Freeman, everyone wants to support him to take down the Combine. And it just does this in a number of ways. It's either through its storytelling, its openness in its approach to its combat, its atmosphere, the realistic physics, the amazing transitions between levels. So you aren't ferried through loading screens. Half-Life 2 feels like a long single adventure rather than a series of events where you're transported from one location to another. So rather than it being like, oh, we've done this section and we fly off in a helicopter and then we go back to this, like a lot of these games, and then, oh, here's the mission and we go off there. You're constantly moving throughout this world. Every area you move to is seamlessly woven together as part of your journey. Most games didn't do that back then. Most games don't do that now. It did things that people don't even do now, even though they could easily do that now with the technology and the fast loading and that we've got. There's no big opening cutscene or anything, which I like. There's no scenario setting up the world. You wake up on a train, you're thrown into like this oppressive and bullying like railway station. You're whisked away quickly to try and to join the team. And Valve kind of trusted the player to not be spoon fed from the get go. You are thrown into this world as Gordon Freeman, as confused as he is as a character, even though he's a silent protagonist. From there, there's so many fantastic moments. The settings from, obviously, there's a frantic kind of gunfight chase through the city. You through the Ravenholm, which is amazing, like bleak and lonely and nightmarish. Then you all these other sections like the highway in the 17, and then running from the antlions through the sand before you actually you get to control them, and you work out how to take control of these creatures and use them to your benefits. But mainly the game developers it's all about empowerment of the character. So most of it, most of the games with empowerment, it's like, oh, you're a big badass guy with a big gun and big explosions. And Half-Life 2 doesn't do that. It understands the real effective narrative empowerment in a long-term journey. Like, imperiously delivers every beat that matters. It's not just about not who's got the biggest gun and who can, make the biggest explosions.
The progression is his experiences and stuff like that. He's
exactly.
getting picking more stuff up as he's going along.
Yeah, so the game gives you all these abilities to change your immediate environment, through creative and expressive ways. Like there's 10 different weapons. Each has their own abilities, advantages, and nuances. In different situations, you're kind of taught to use different weapons to get through different. And that's what I meant about trial and error. Sometimes you'll try a gun, but this is not working in this situation, so I'll do this, and it works, and you can figure that out. And then obviously there's the gravity gun. Like the gravity gun is not matched to this day in terms of its creativity or uses, in my opinion. It gives you an agency, an ownership of how you do things. You can pick up saw blades and shoot the saw blades at people. You can pick up canisters and shoot a canister into a group of combine. It's so much more satisfying than just throwing a grenade. You can even move objects around. Like you can bump a car out of the way so you can use it as cover. You can do all kinds of shit with a gravity gun. And then when it becomes overpowered and you can just fling men around with it, that's when it just becomes just ridiculous and fun. Yeah, it's just an amazing game, full of great characters, great inventive weapons. And this game came out in 2004, and it's probably the sequel that everyone wants a game to, out of all games.
They never shut up about it, do they?
Exactly. If this game was bad, no one would want a sequel.
True.
But everyone wants a sequel to this game because that game was amazing, and it still stands the test of time. And like Candy said with Skyrim, there's a modding scene behind Half-Life games as well that's still going strong to this day. And I think if you play Half-Life 2 now, you'll still get enjoyment out of it. Yeah, there'll be things that don't, that some modern shooters might do a little bit better, but this still plays extremely well.
Well, I love Half-Life 2. I remember the first time going through Ravenholm and it's just in the game, it's just after you get the gravity gun and you walk past a table with a load of circular saw blades, don't you think, can I do this?
Yeah.
And you do. And you've picked it up, and then all of a sudden something triggers behind you, and a couple of headcrab zombies burst through the door. You're like, can I really? And then you fire it at them and it cuts them in half and you're like, oh shit, yeah. Oh fuck yeah. Like it is a really, really good game. And if I actually remember the first time I got it on release day in 2004.
You're a big PC guy then as well.
PC. Sort of there. I had a game. I'm a PC for college, but it was good enough to play games on.
Yeah.
I remember plugging it in. I remember the opening cutscene, and the opening cutscene is still stuck in my head. It's this. You see bits of City 17. You see some of the Citadel, and it's the G-Man talking at you, kind of phasing in and out of reality. There's one line that always sticks with me. The right man in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world.
Ooh, I like that.
Oh yeah, it's very philosophical and nihilistic at the same time.
I like that.
On the other hand, I've never played Skyrim.
Same.
So, I didn't know.
I mean, I've played it.
And me.
You have played Skyrim because I just looked on the Xbox app because after Candy's
I did play it for a while.
Yeah, after Candy's pitch, I thought, okay, I'll go on Game Pass, I'll download it, I'll give it a try. And then I see Oodles O'Dim 3 months ago played it.
For how long?
Doesn't say.
Oh, does it not?
Does say he's played it though.
I played both.
Anyway.
I played both.
I haven't played it.
Anyway, yeah, Half-Life 2 I'm voting for.
Same. And I haven't played Skyrim. I had a PS3 or 4 when it came out, and it was severely ravaged for being a complete buggy mess when it came out.
Oh yeah, it was gimped on the PS3.
I never got round to playing it because of that, and it probably does play very well now, but it just put me off at the time. And I have played Half-Life 2. I have completed that, and I loved that. So, yeah, sorry.
Oh, she's
It's
crying.
Half-Life 2 for me.
Fuck! How did Skyrim lose?
I will say Skyrim is. I love Skyrim, as well. So it's yeah. I remember that came out, and I just had my shoulder operation, so I wasn't allowed. I was told specifically, you're not allowed to do anything around the house. Just chill for 3 weeks while it heals.
Oh, I'd love that.
And I just played Skyrim. That is literally my day. Like I got up, I played Skyrim until Kate got back from work. And
What a busy day, darling.
No, but she didn't mind that because she told me to do that.
Oh,
so
yeah, that's true.
I really loved it. But yeah, there was a lot of bugs. Some that pissed me right off. But that's Bethesda junk for you, really, innit?
The Witcher 3 had bugs.
Hey!
Witcher
I
3
didn't vote for
bugs.
Witcher 3.
Still does, yeah.
Yeah,
Ratchet and Clank had a bug.
It did have a bug.
Half-Life has bugs. Everything has bugs. Let's not get into
yeah,
that.
but Ratchet and Clank, I could reload. I didn't lose an amazing sword after spending like 5 hours or whatever stupid on a quest for it because of a bug.
I'm gutted.
Sorry.
Oodles, say what you're going to say anyway.
I've probably played about the same amount for both games. Now, legacy-wise, I adored Half-Life 1, and I absolutely adore Portal. There's a running joke that, I don't like Half-Life 2. I've barely played it. I've played an hour. I've not got to this Ravenswood or whatever you're talking.
What did you say last week when we picked the game? She's like, the game's boring as fuck. You've played an hour.
I know.
You've played the worst bit of the game. You've played City 17 wandering around without a gun.
Yeah, I'm okay. That's what I'm saying. And I played it on a PC, and you know what I'm like with mouse and keyboard, like a monkey with a stick. And Skyrim,
You are a monkey with a stick.
Skyrim, always more than Half-Life 2, in my opinion, from people saying it's the best game ever made. I recently played it. What was it? 3 months ago? Did you say?
Yep, 3 months ago.
I recorded my findings on our Discord. Those recordings weren't long. I remember escaping a dragon attack, creating a Catman, finding a bow. Really enjoying bows. I did really enjoy being an archer. And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to get a sword. Did not like that. And I've got to go with what I think I'd like. I know it doesn't make any difference, but I've got to go with what I think I'd play if I had to pick one over the other tomorrow. If I had to pick it up and play it, I'd probably play Half-Life 2.
You should play Half-Life. If you've only played an hour of it, I think you need to play that game.
Because
I
did it with Titanfall 2, I did it with BioShock. I might like it now. And Skyrim, I give it a good run, man, and it's just...
I mean, if you play the orange box version, you can play it with the controller.
Yeah, that's what I'd probably do. Yeah, if I
Great package that.
gun to my head, I would rather play Half-Life 2 than Skyrim tomorrow.
So all of our pitches have been made. We now have to just do the last 3 rounds.
Candy's heartbroken. I can't look at her.
I am. I can't. Yeah, I am.
She'd be all right. She's all right in the next round.
Yeah.
I'm smiling through the pain.
Yeah, at least my other game. Oh no, I haven't got any.
Oh,
Okay, so for the first semi-final, we have The Witcher 3 versus Silent Hill 2. Where's everybody going? Obviously, I'm going Silent Hill 2, and Noodles will be going Witcher 3.
I got it. Oh, if it comes down to,
If we want to make it interesting with Stiggy, then I'm going to go for Witcher 3.
Stig, if you had both boxes in front of you, which one would you reach out and play?
if I had the choice to play it would be The Witcher 3.
I'm going Witcher 3.
yes.
Okay, Witcher 3 goes through to the
Sorry,
final.
gotcha.
That's fine.
Both bangers. That's the problem, innit? When they're both bangers.
But I'm not mad about losing The Witcher 3. Witcher 3 is one of my favourite games of all time as well.
Yeah, I'm not mad about what's going to happen right now.
Bioshock versus Half-Life 2.
Fuck.
Yeah. And on this, I'm very, very conflicted because I adore both of these games so much. Candy looks like she's about to have a conniption.
My
I know what
arsehole's
I'm
like
going
that.
Bioshock.
I'll go first.
Bioshock.
I'll be very easy. Yeah. Bioshock for me. I like
And not
the
because,
series
like
as
I
well.
said, the running joke was I hate Half-Life 2. I don't hate it. I
No, I know
barely
you've
played it.
played it. So
So it's just Bioshock. It did things for me, man. I
Yeah, it could be
hope
understandable.
when I do eventually play Half-Life 2 properly, that'll do things for me, but, you know.
I think I know it doesn't matter now because it's already gone through, but I will go Half-Life 2 for this one because I think Half-Life 2 for me is a very formative one. It's like one of my early kind of blow my head off kind of games.
yeah.
Like, you know, it was because I did play it on release.
I think I should have
and it
been
was just
there
like-
day one, and then I'd have had
Do you
it.
remember that bit with the gravity gun when it's overpowered and you're just
Oh, yeah.
you're throwing people around with it? It's so fucking good.
Yeah, all your weapons get stripped away. You gravity gun gets powered up. It was just like, yeah, let's fuck some shit up. And
You
then
just walk through and just throw
And
everything
solving
around.
puzzles with it as well.
Yeah.
Because there were little areas that you had to work
Yeah,
out
man.
how to.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I mean, it's
Traverse
so
as well.
inventive. I don't think, other than maybe the portal gun, I don't think any other gun has been that inventive since.
I agree.
No,
I've not
I
used
would- I
that
would
gun, obviously,
fully agree
but
with it.
I think I'm looking forward to trying it.
Okay, so that means for the final, we have The Witcher 3 versus Bioshock.
It's up to you guys.
Eddie, shush.
Keep that in.
Stiggy's just told us all off.
I turned my mic down as well, so it didn't work very well, did it?
Like,
No.
No.
right, I know Bioshock is a great, like, new world to live in and stuff like that, but Witcher 3 is just... It's just... For the generation it came out, PS4, Xbox One generation, and obviously PC and stuff, and Switch, eventually. It just does fit. It makes open worlds worth being open world. It's not climb up top of a tower and open up loads of icons on the map. It's that world is living. Like when Biggie said earlier on about GTA 3 being open and stuff, and you could follow people around. You can literally do this on The Witcher 3. It's just incredible, man. It's just everything about it. And like I say, it's a phenomenon now. It's so big. It's massive. It's an institution. It's Witcher 3. How'd you turn... Like, has anyone ever seen the gameplay of Witcher 1?
I've
Ooh,
played
yeah,
Witcher 1.
yikes.
Fucking horrendous. And this...
Yeah, but that's got no forbearance on what The Witcher 3 is. That just proves that it's improved.
Yeah, I know. But this is just... I don't know. That just the actual... The world and everything about it. When you're in Velen, in No Man's Land, the first time after you leave the tutorial area, and then you're just like, oh shit, I can go anywhere, but I daren't go everywhere. It's terrifying in a way. It's not a horror game at all, but it's terrifying. And some of the characters you meet, like I say, the Bloody Baron and just Dandelion and all Yennefer.
I mean, you.
Yeah, Yennefer and Triss are just people that just like there's full there's people online that's like, are you team Yennefer, are you team Triss and stuff like that, or are you team whatever? And then it introduces,
and those people haven't read the books and don't know how
Exactly.
bad Triss actually is.
Exactly. Yeah, agreed. And it's just got like, you think, oh my god, we've got Velen, we've got Novigrad, we've got all these, and then, oh, guess what? We've got another continent for you to explore, Skellige, and then guess what? We've got some DLCs with Toussaint, and it's just everything about it. And my dad's on it, Gaunter O'Dim. He's just one of the best antagonists ever. I just adore it, man.
It's a valiant effort, Oodles, but I have to go with a game that I've played.
Oh,
and
okay, I
loved,
get it.
and loved as a series. I have artwork on my wall. I loved watching you find that moment. And
Good, innit?
Yeah. It's it was something just new and inventive, and
I think
the
it's weird
atmosphere
having
of Ratchet is
Bioshock as our
brilliant.
best game ever.
The thing is, much as I adore The Witcher 3, and I do adore The Witcher 3, I never felt anything playing it. It's a really good story, really good game, really good place to be. But like Bioshock, again, that moment, but also just like the other stuff as well, like when you listen back through some of the backstory and you hear like the heartbreak involved and like how some of these splices have gone mad, like the Mad Doctor, the first boss that you fight, like stuff like that. It is so well written.
I don't think it loses its edge after the twist.
It does, but then you can also argue that The Witcher 3 also has one of the worst final bosses in video gaming.
Oh, I'm not on about bosses and stuff like that. I'm not.
No, but you know, both games kind of falter in their last.
I think a lot of games do that. To be fair, don't they? Really.
Yeah. But you know, I never felt anything playing The Witcher 3, but I felt a lot playing Bioshock. And that's not to say I think one is better than the other. I think they're both amazing.
They've both got
games,
to final regardless.
Yeah,
there's proof in the pudding.
Out of this choice for me, it's Bioshock as well. Biggie, you got an opinion?
I do. It's a weird one for me because I love The Witcher 3, but it's one of the games that I actually drops in and out of quite a bit.
It's because it's so big.
But like actually having gaps of months of not playing it and then going back. But every time I went back, I fell in love with it every single time. It was that good a game. It's that clever. But I just played Bioshock from beginning to end, and as long as I could over a period of time playing that game.
I did it in four playthroughs in total, maybe.
Yeah, just something about that world, the atmosphere, listening to the recordings, the sound. The sound is so incredible in that game. The clunk as you play the recording and just opening things, unlocking things. Yeah, just the big daddies used to shit me up big time when I saw one around the corner until you got good enough to take them on properly. But yeah, just I think that atmosphere underwater was just something else. So yeah, Bioshock for me, I'm afraid. And I love Witcher 3.
Oh yeah. I think. Honestly, well done by the way, Candy. You've won.
Thank you.
I think I like that Bioshock is now our official best game of all time. I think it's a bit odd because I don't think it's in anyone's best games of all time, like official lists. But I'm on about official. I'm on about official publications and stuff like that. But it's always there, isn't it? It's always in a top 10.
It's excellent.
Yeah, it is excellent. It is excellent.
It's also, I think it's uncontroversially excellent, which is why I don't think it gets to the top a lot of times.
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone who's finished it agrees that it's like, fuck, that's a good game.
Yeah, like...
and also, we discussed this when you came across the twist. It's one that's respected so much that people will say, shut up, don't spoil
yeah, when
the
did the
twist,
game come out? Because I did not know about that.
2007.
So I lasted that long without knowing that. That's crazy,
You
isn't
lasted
it?
14 years without seeing that twist.
2007.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe that.
Crazy, isn't it?
That's unreal.
Now, I have seen people spoil the end of Witcher 3 on Twitter, and it's barely been out as long. So, yeah, there is a respect there. I do like that.
So Bioshock's on a 96 out of 100 on Metacritic, so it's up there. Like
96 is massive.
Half-Life 2 is on 96. Other games from here.
They really are.
Grand Theft Auto 3 is on 97.
Ooh.
Best game ever, officially.
Grand Theft Auto 4 is higher. 5 is higher. Yes, actually the highest game from all of ours chosen. Grand Theft Auto 3.
There we go. And we kicked it out because we were all frightened of it. But congratulations, Bioshock. You are the official Modern Escapism, best game of all time. And Candy, you nominated it with aplomb. Honestly, brilliant. But what I want to hear is what our listeners think of their best games of all time. If we've got time, because we have been going on forever. I'm red hot.
I mean, we've got time, but we'll hammer through this because we've still got the Patreon to do as well.
I'm going on with that.
Alex79 UK says, my all-time favourite is Red Dead Redemption 2, followed by Dark Souls and The Witcher 3. For reasons far too lengthy to go into here, but I played at exactly the right time for it to be a world I needed to escape into and be totally immersed. I loved it so much.
There is a review from Alex on our Twitter. He posted the screenshots of his Red Dead Redemption thing.
And I'm just going to read out his conclusion from that. I'm not going to read out the whole thing because it's a bit too wordy, and we have been going for a god-awful amount of time here. But his conclusion on that review is really good. So he said, I didn't just enjoy this game, I absolutely adored it. Sometimes something comes along and you can't imagine how anything will ever top it. One day I'll look back on the games I've played over the years, and if there has been anything between then and now which has made me feel so passionately about a game, I'll be very surprised. I wouldn't change a thing about Red Dead Redemption 2. For me, personally, it was just about as perfect as a game can get.
Wow.
It's incredible.
I'm actually a bit scared of it.
Red Dead Redemption 2 is incredible.
It's just so big.
I dropped off
big.
at chapter 3 for no reason whatsoever. Just I started playing other games, and then when I got back into it, I was just like, I loved just getting it, and
I platinumed it in 2 weeks. Yeah.
Might try and find a cheap Xbox code for it.
I'll get you one, mate.
John Cheatham has said, Dishonored 2. Hard to pick between this and the original, but the sun-baked setting, endless permutation of powers and gadgets, great characters, and god-tier level design makes this the greatest of all time. Arcane at the height of their powers. I mean, I'll agree Dishonored 2 is a really fucking good game.
I dropped off that harder than
I've done
fucking...
one.
I need to play Dishonored, both, and they're both on Game Pass, and I need to get them on.
Rob Shack has come in saying, for me it has to be The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. It's just a complete package of brilliant characters, great story and quest writing, a deep, engaging, beautiful world, and stuffed to the gills with content to keep you going for a very long time.
Now our second best game of all time.
Yeah. Pete Beckett has gone further back than everyone else. Super Mario World. It's one of my favourite 2D platformers, with Donkey Kong Country coming a close second. But it's the game I always manage to boot up and play at least once or twice a year. Still excellent all these years later. So Leroy Francisco has come in saying, such a hard question. Do I pick a game from when I was a kid like Super Mario World, or a modern game like Red Dead 2? Games are generally better these days, but I have so many happy memories of getting lost in more simple games. The experience enhanced my childlike imagination. Anyway, Breath of the Wild. This game fired up my imagination in a way I hadn't experienced in a long time. I mean, none of us brought up any Nintendo games.
No.
And Breath of the Wild is fucking good.
I think
Final Fantasy 7 could have been.
Yeah, and both games I nominated are on Nintendo platforms.
They're on Nintendo, but they're not Nintendo games.
No. I didn't want to put any old games in because I don't think people take them as seriously anymore.
Oh, there's some amazing old ones.
What's wrong with you?
It's just hard to compare them, isn't it? I think with something that's more
and it's got the best
16-bit
16-bit pixel graphics you could ever see. And the story, you have to read it yourself.
Miri has come in saying The Last of Us Part 2. Obsessed doesn't even cover it.
Wow.
New one.
I need to play that.
It's very rare that you get someone saying that of a game that's very recent.
Very recent.
Yeah. It's only a year old, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Ray has said, hi, Modern Escapism. According to the number on my Steam account, I spend most hours on Stardew Valley, followed a close second by Hitman. Neither are big productions, but both have simple but effective gameplay mechanics, bring tons of fun and replayability. I often download, finish, and delete games. Some games I would not likely to touch anymore, and others would be downloaded again when the time is right. These two, however, never really leave my hard drive and keep stacking it up hours. Games like those usually won't be the first in a favourite game discussion, but I really appreciate the good time I had and I'm still having with them.
Yeah, see, I don't necessarily equate more hours played to my favourite games.
No.
I don't really replay. I don't even replay my favourite games that much. Like them two, I do. I've played Half-Life 2 a few times. And
you get them comfort games, don't you? Like I said.
But a lot of other times, I don't really replay games. I just because I want to play new stuff and other stuff as well. So
I think it depends on the game. Like Stardew Valley is kind of an endless game. It's like playing Animal Crossing, and Hitman's one of those games that it's designed to be repeatedly played.
It can be quite arcade.
It's almost like a speed. Yeah, you can do it like think of it like a speed run game. You're getting the highest score as fast as possible.
Me and Gadget recently went through them all, didn't we? And Silent Assassin and the lot. Yeah. That was a good time in that. Good times.
Oh yeah, a lot of fun that. But both great games, Stardew and Hitman. Absolutely brilliant games. Last up, Angry Kurt, best boy. He's coming to say my favourite game flips between Half-Life 2 and Portal. But because Steak has Half-Life 2 and because I think Portal just edges it, I'll go with that. It's often said that no game is perfect, but in the case of Portal, I think given what it sets out to do, it's a perfect game. There's literally nothing I can think of in which it can be improved upon. The puzzles and difficulty curve is spot on, the narrative and writing is excellent, it's funny, its length means there is no filler, and even the credit sequence is perhaps the best in any medium, which I would immediately counter with, but Portal 2 did it all better.
Yes, 100%. I've recently played Portal 2, and yeah.
Portal 2 drags sections out a little bit, if I'm being honest.
I love them both.
But Portal 2 has Cave Johnson.
Yeah.
They tried to add a bit too much story into it, and it's good, but I really want to play this new version of Portal that's come out. I think it's out now,
with the third Portal.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Portal's such a smart
it's like a different dimension into it.
I love them both. Love them both massively.
Yeah.
Some of those puzzles were amazing.
Yeah. But yes, that is our mailbox for the week.
Thank you very much for writing in there, guys. We will go to the socials with Her Majesty the Candy Machine.
Thank you for that.
Winner.
You can find winner chicken dinner. Not with Skyrim though. Find us on Twitter at Modern Escapism. On there you'll find a link to all our episodes, socials, and you can find us in our wonderful community in the madhouse that is our Discord. If you have any comments, you can either tweet us or email us at modernescapismpod@gmail.com. If you want to have a chat with us during gaming sessions, find us on Twitch at twitch.tv/modernescapism. On Saturday, Oodles, are you continuing Fable?
Depends what temperature the weather's going to be.
It might be too hot for Fable, okay. Mondays, we've got Biggie Dies. Watch Biggie continue his playthrough of Dark Souls. Wednesday, Gadget and Stig will be starting Sea of Thieves, so we'll get to meet Captain Jack Sparrow once again. And Thursday, I'm going to do my Candy's Creature feature, which is a horror stream, and tonight in Pod Timing Land, tonight, I should be finishing off Hellblade. And so I'll start something new next week. We've got a Patreon, as you heard earlier. We're really proud of what we do, and if you enjoy our content, you can give us a little extra support on Patreon at patreon.com/modernescapism. We've got 3 tiers. We've got £5 for Modern Escapees. You'll get extended Modern Escapism episodes, monthly specials. This month, Gadget and Biggie are taking us on a journey with them, experiencing the Fast and Furious films for the first time.
Oh, it's going to be weirdness.
We've got £5 for the Scorched Sheep. The Scorched Sheep, just Scorched Sheep. Listen to Scorched Sheep episodes advert free. Any artwork created by me and any music that's featured in the episode will get bundled along with it. And you'll also get a bonus roundup episode every time we level. We'll have a chat about the story so far, and you'll get to hear us updating our characters in real time. Or for £7.50, you'll get the Biggie bundle, which gets you both, and it'll make Biggie very happy. And who wouldn't want that? Just imagine his little beaming face. I can see it now, look.
You, because you knocked him out.
Brutal.
The guilt is
well
still
said,
strong.
Stiggy.
Next week's subject is children's TV. So what were your favourite shows growing up? Do you remember any shows that no one else can recall? Do they hold up? Do you hate or love any shows that no one else did? Let us know in the comments.
Excellent. And no, we're not doing best crisps yet for a long, long time, because these take it out of us, these kind of knockout tournaments. I know the people are demanding
really
crisps.
Tests our friendships, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think crisps is going to be the biggest destroyer of colleagues and friendships there ever will be. But yes, for all the patrons, meet us round the back. But for everyone else, don't melt and enjoy being a gamer. See you later. Candy, are you hugging a show for men aerosol?
Yeah, but it feels so nice.
I'm just glad it's that and not a dildo.
No, they're not as cool.
Oh, God.